Hearing this, Mr. Jean was stunned for a moment. Then he burst out laughing, "Let's have a chat first." Looking at Yunwoo, Mr. Jean didn't seem to be procrastinating. Instead, he wanted to die. He simply answered her question. But he didn't know that it was wrong to say that she wanted to die. She seemed to cherish her life. She is the eldest lady of Tsungyun Castle in the upper world. I can't figure out why she came to arrest you. Gold old such as Eagle Eye Sun a Hook sat to Cloud Dance side. Yunwoo frowned slightly. It's obvious that he is not happy with this action. But if you want to know more, you have to compromise. She tolerates it, he said. The eldest lady of Tsungyun Castle in the upper boundary? A place I haven't even heard of. How can I think of catching her? If you just want to stop her from marrying Long Qingxie, it should be more direct to catch Long Qingxie, right? Think of Long Qingxie. Her eyes flashed a touch of worry. This man must be angry, right? But Yunwoo can be sure that this woman must have left some traces. When he finds out that with the man's ingenuity, he will find something. Can she begin to look forward to his arrival now? So you mean, if she didn't come for me, there would be others? The Cloud dances to slant to see a pick eyebrow way. Is her life so good? Everyone wants to catch her, or does it have something to do with the status of witch saint? Yes. Mr. Jean nodded. Who? The Cloud dances, the eye ground is cold. The Gate of Beasts has been destroyed. Although it's strange to destroy it, I really can't feel the existence of the Gate of Beasts. Besides the Gate of Beasts, who else wants to catch her? Who else has been trying to catch you besides the Beast Gate? The Golden Eagle's eyes flashed, and when he mentioned the Beast Gate, the look of the fundus of his eyes passed by a touch of abnormality. The Beast Gate has been destroyed. Cloud Dance micro frown, in the heart suddenly burst out an idea. This idea let her whole person sweat hair all frighten. It's naive of you to think so. Old Jean snorted coldly. You mean? I've already said what I shouldn't, and now I don't want to. Old Jin's mouth turned cold, and his eyes became greedy when he looked at Yunwoo. The witch saint was not soon. Does he mean that the Beast Gate still exists? The difference between Cloud Dance's eyes passes by, but there is no time to think about it. Cloud Dance hangs mouth to sneer, the corner of the mouth die a touch of radiant, since you don't want to say, that I also can't force a person to be difficult. Suddenly, a touch of purple shadow passed by. Yunwoo had broken away from the shackles of strange water elements, and stood steadily elsewhere, looking at the lazy old man, but his eyes were sharp. The Golden Eagle's eyes were surprised. Then he said, I didn't expect that you could break away from her shackles. What you didn't expect is still behind you. Cloud Dance, the corner of the mouth a yang, cold way. He has to pay the same price as Moibing for the greed in his eyes. Even if he is a witch, it's also the snow willow of the dark family. With anger, Jean Leoning stood up, with power looming in his palm. It seemed that he wanted to seize Yunwoo with force. The Cloud dances, the corners of the mouth pull, the eyes will reach the freezing point, just as I wish. Suddenly, the black flame broadsword Sonoris presented, compared with her figure, extremely abrupt. Looking at the black flame dagger, the eagle's eyes were startled. In a flash, the power of his palm was brushed, and he went straight to the Cloud dance. As soon as the Cloud danced, the thatched cottage suddenly trembled. It seems that I can't bear the power of that palm, and I can't bear the sound of wailing. In a flash, the roof split a single gap, growing. Two figures jumped out of the thatched cottage in the air. In a flash, the thatched cottage collapsed. Miserable, with the grass flying, confused the line of sight, blurred each other. The sound is not too loud, but it attracts people who go to the ancient town in the distance. It seems that there is another wonderful fight today. I advise you to stop, or she won't be so lucky when she comes back. The Golden Eagle's eyes are cold, and he looks at the Cloud dance angrily. Cloud dance hangs mouth to sneer, your fear, don't represent me, even if no clearly is to lose, also won't show that kind of counseling appearance. Her voice came out with the power of anger. Did he mean that the woman was more arrogant? Oh, she wants to let him know that martial arts is just a kind of auxiliary, real arrogant capital, in the bone. Boom. In the clear sky, a strange flash of lightning came out. Old Jean raised his eyes and glanced up at the top. Surprise appeared in the bottom of his eyes. Is this the thunder element? This woman has thunder elements. He suddenly looks at the cloud dance, and his forehead is covered with invisible cold sweat. Is this the strength that can compete with Mo Yebing? The cloud dance is bloodthirsty and squints at a smile. The water element in the palm of the hand suddenly sweeps out, and the thunder element pours into the air. The intersection of the minds is fusion and exclusion. Suddenly, the minds met, repelling a strong force, and strangely headed for the king. As soon as Jin's face coagulated, he covered his eyes with surprise, raised his hand and pinched the void. The repulsive power of the mind stopped in mid-air and could not move forward. Next second. Bang! There was a loud noise, and the smoke was rolling around. Dark haze attacked Dai, with a touch of burnt taste, full of. Waiting for the dark haze falling, Yunwu squints at the bottom of his eyes and can't help laughing. Is this new model popular this year? In front of him, he was dressed in a black robe. After the explosion, his whole body was black from top to bottom, except for a pair of white eyes. There is no black man in legend. Yunwu's mockery and smile are getting bigger and bigger. She just dropped an explosive into the mine power. Although Jin Laoji stopped the action of the mine, he could not stop the time of explosive explosion. You cheat on me. Old Jin's roar was inexhaustible, and the eagle's eyes were as dark as the light of his face. Cloud Dance looked at old Jin's one closed mouth, one tooth was set off with a strange white, forced to sip the corners of his mouth and said with a smile, cheat. Don't say you are not tired of deceit. As long as you can win the trick, it's all above board. You. Old Gold was Cloud Dance said unexpectedly have no words to refute, eagle eyes cold creepy stare at Cloud Dance, kill idea diffuse everywhere, seek death. Suddenly, the black figure passed the place like a charm, with the sharp roaring, and the phantom spread the unique flavor of the witch people, straight to the clouds. As soon as the cloud dances around the corner of his mouth, the sonorous edge of the black flame sword gradually increases. The colorful brilliance of the black flame sword is constantly eroded, disappearing and reborn. The combination of 5 elements, the power of magic bite, and the light of black flame dagger itself. 7 kinds of colors around, dazzle half of the sky. ZZ power seems to have been unable to restrain the general. Rub ran ready to go. Even she was looking forward to the power of this blow. The cloud dances, the corner of the mouth is cold and bloodthirsty, and the scarlet and red spread in the fundus of the eyes. Bang! A huge force spread between them, diffuse, emitting a strange light, like clear lotus, like silver frost. The 2 figures were forced back by this force, and they immediately stepped back for dozens of steps. After the breath of the impact was stable, the dust spread and fell, and the vision was clear. 2 straight scratches came into our eyes, which were the traces of Yunwu and Jin Lao being forced back. The woman in the strange brown dress, standing at the intersection of the 2 scratches, looked at Yunwu and Mr. Jin from left to right, with a cold and strange smell. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, eye ground flits past, surprised, 1 blow beat gold old attack fly. This woman's strength is really so strong. No, should we say that all the people in the upper world are so strong? Congealing Jin Yu's anger. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to pull up to put on a smile, return really a person who is happy and angry not to hide, go out a trip, the whole person seemed to be burnt by the anger in general, really let a person daydream. Take her away. Jin Yu said to open his voice and roar, the appearance of anger is self-evident. At the end of the speech, several men in white robes appeared in mid-air, just like hiding in the air. The cloud dances, the eye light is cold, the black flame big knife ZZ is calling, chilly is burning sound. Suddenly, a white ripple light of the net, overwhelming. The cloud dances, the eyes are cold, and it's impossible to escape, so the palm turns, and the most powerful force of the black flame sword is wielded, bang. Exclusion suddenly sounded, the power of black flame dagger was rebounded back. Cloud dance eyes a tight, fundus surprise streamer across, a front air jump body, by their own power, embarrassed to play more than 10 meters. There's no need to resist. It's a net made of Tiankanhu silk, which is naturally formed in the upper world. Let alone you, even people at 2 higher levels can't break out. Jean Lao's voice came with a slight irony. Cloud dance eyes swept a touch of surprise, day silk. What a weird thing. On the next side, the huge net falls down and wraps Yunwu in it. What's strange is that the net can expand and shrink automatically. It's just a few tens of meters away, but now it's only as big as a sack, which can hold her. Cloud dance glanced at Jean Yu's words, and a sneer passed quietly. Since she has to take her away, and she is not sure that she can beat her, then follow her wish. Several people in white robe leave with Yunwu. When they leave, Yunwu takes a cold glance at Jinyu, and finds that she is also looking at her, but there is a kind of incomprehensible complexity at the bottom of her eyes. Just like she robbed her beloved things, the resentment, the anger, the gloomy desire to make her cramp. It's not really because Cloud Dance's forehead black lines suddenly appeared, whether it is not, her heart has the evil man scolded 1,000 times 10,000 times. This is the world's best evil, rogue, shameless girl, who is in trouble. Under the leadership of Jin Yuyen, they walked on the market street with a lot of people, which attracted everyone's attention. They felt different from the previous 2 times. Their eyes were more mysterious and strange. Cloud Dance micro frown, is it because of this woman's reason? Do they all know her? Suddenly, Yunwu noticed a cold light in the crowd. She glanced at the direction with her tiny eyes, but found nothing unusual. Cloud Dance frowns slightly, meditates strictly, is it illusion? She always thinks that this place is very strange. It seems that everyone has extraordinary strength. Is this ancient town really special? Is it related to the upper bound? Soon, Jin Yuyen took them through the crowd and came to a secluded path, which looked very desolate, as if no one would pass by. A sheep intestine bend, above weeds everywhere, but to a few bright flowers, drooling, it seems that a slight touch can be broken. Cloud Dance looked at this abrupt scene, star eyes am I. Grass grows so embarrassed, flowers can open so bright. Jinyu looked at Yunwu, her mouth was cold and sharp, but her eyes were very disdainful. After a while, you can go back by yourself. I have something else to do. If my father asks, he says he hasn't seen me. She took a look at the white robes dancing in the clouds. Yes. The man in white is respectful. Border. Cloud Dance eyes Aleng, a moment of meditation. Suddenly, Yunwu seems to understand something. Isn't this the boundary leading to the upper boundary? Why do you take me to the upper boundary? The cloud dances, the Mao light is cold, in the heart as if the faintness can guess what, say again is what. Martial arts practitioners, who don't want to enter the upper boundary through the border one day. I'll take you. Shouldn't you be grateful to me? Jin Yu's charming eyes were calm, just like a sharp blade watching the clouds. If eyes could kill people, Yunwu would be full of holes now. Cloud Dance's eyes flashed a little doubt, clearly a pair of eager to strangle her appearance, but endure, will take her to the upper world. It seems that the people waiting for her are in the upper bound. Jin Yuyen took back her eyes and looked at the end of Yangchang Path. Her figure swept away, and it was at the end in an instant. The brown figure lingered lightly, and the power between the palms was constantly emerging, with a strange light. At the moment when the light faded, several white-robed people moved away with clouds. Yunwu only felt that it was dark in front of her. When she opened her eyes again, she was slightly stunned by the scene in front of her. In front of me is a green grass. If you look around, you can't see the edge. There is a babbling stream in the middle of the grass. The water is clear and the pebbles can be seen. It is rare that there is such a natural stream on the grassland. Cloud Dance frowns and glances around, only to find that the familiar sky has changed color. The sky is as blue as a mirror, as if you can touch the white clouds with your hand. What surprised her even more was that the ancient town was under her feet. Jijia is located in the human world, which is far away from the upper world. However, they arrive in an instant after passing the Jijia. She has also noticed everything in Shanggu town, and has not found any difference in the sky above Shanggu town. Standing in the upper world, she can clearly see Shanggu town. The connection between the two is really interesting. This boundary should be the entrance to the upper boundary, right? Do all the people who go to the ancient town know the existence of this boundary? Is it really so easy for the young lady to pass the strange borders so easily? Or does she have some secret weapon? Jinyu lets several white-robed people go back to Tsungyun Castle first. She took Yunwu to another direction. It's supposed to be a job, isn't it? Cloud Dance slightly frowns. The contemplation of the fundus of the eye passes by. Her strength is above her. Besides, she is still a young lady, and her character is not like that kind of submissive person. How can she do things for others? Cloud Dance's mouth mysterious smile appears. She did this thing, the benefits behind must be considerable. A touch of fine calculation swept her eyes. Miss, who asked you to arrest me? Cloud Dance follows behind Jinyu's speech, sidelong her one eye way. Jinyu said that the whip of wood element led the Cloud Dance and hummed coldly, catch you, catch you. Do you think anyone can ask me to catch people? Cloud Dance eyes quietly across a cold, really arrogant. Who are you going to give me to? Or now that I've been arrested by you, you should let me be arrested, right? Jinyu Yen suddenly stopped, turned around, took a glance at Cloud Dance, and snorted, it's okay to tell you that Liao Zongtian, the leader of the Thunder Gate, used a 1,000-year-old imperial spirit bead to name you in exchange for your life. Do you think it's worth it? Cloud Dance cold glanced at her. She is saying that her this trip is worth, or that she is worth it. But what is the royal pearl? Yunwu frowned slightly, and the searcher remembered that she was ignorant, as if she had never heard of it. In my mind, the golden light of the dragon scroll appears, but it doesn't show any content. It's estimated that the news about the royal pearl is on other incomplete dragon scroll. That's why you went to the human world to catch me. The Cloud dances, the eyes are slightly narrowed, and there are doubts in the words. Yulingzu, as the name suggests, is a panacea for improving martial arts skills. Would a proud and distinguished young lady do things for others? I don't believe in ghosts. Jinyu heard her words, enchanting eyes abnormal flash, up and down looked at the Cloud dance for a while, disdain way, I also now feel some worthless. So easily tied Cloud dance, let her some doubt, this woman exactly where is worth him to like. Cloud dance facial expression a dark, the corner of the mouth pulls out to put on a sneer, that can tell the imperial spirit bead to have what function. With your current strength, it should be no problem to upgrade a level, but you don't seem to have much hope. Jinyu said and pulled the whip in her hand, then turned around and left. Yunwu naturally didn't see the scorn of her eyes, because after she said that she was promoted to a higher level, the light of her eyes became brighter. Upgrade 1 level. That thing is so powerful. The Cloud dance Phoenix Mao 1 Mi, looking at Jinyu's speeches back, the blind eye dark Mang contemplates to pass by, the corner of the mouth a put on bloodthirsty cunning point of smile to emerge. Since it's so good, I'll take it for you. At the moment of Jinyu's sudden surprise, Yunwu has broken away the wood element whip, a rapid rotation, and has come to Jinyu's eyes. Suddenly, Jinyu's face twisted and Daimei lowered. Her hands felt burning. She was surprised to see that her hands had been tied by a whip with a real flame. She was shocked, palm strength emerged, want to break through the fire whip, but in exchange for more burning. Don't struggle, struggle a minute, the burning temperature increases 10. Cloud dance pulls the fire whip and raises a demonic sneer at the corner of his mouth. What is this? Jinyu Yen looked at the real flame on her wrist, and her strength reappeared, but in exchange for more scorching temperature, a touch of surprise passed in her eyes. This kind of real flame, she had never met. It seems that I need you to believe me. Without waiting for Jinyu to figure out the meaning of her words, Yunwoo's purple fighting air splashes out and attacks Jinyu's wrist fire whip. Ah! The screams followed. Fire whip encountered a strong force, burning more intense, that kind of skin is about to melt away feeling, let her forehead exude a drop of sweat. What do you want to do? Jinyu Yen Tong Mao Ruthless, surprised angry stare at Cloud Dance. It was her carelessness. She thought that the strength of this woman was in the early days of Wuzuan, but she didn't expect that her strength had already exceeded that of the early days. You tied me up. Are you tired? Take a break. I'll help you with the rest. Cloud Dance lips a hook, pull open a bloodthirsty strange radiant. You. Jinyu Yen stares at Yunwoo. What else did she want to say? With a flick of Yunwoo's fingertip, she can only kill Yunwoo with her eyes. A body of strength, no place to stretch, can only be at the mercy of Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance leads Jinyu to say, the lip cape tears to spread a cold on. No matter how strong your strength is, you can't beat your brain. If you meet someone who is stronger than yourself, you should use your brain to win. Yunwoo followed Jinyu's direction and soon saw a town. Qingyong City. Yunwoo looks at the three big characters at the gate of the city, turns his mouth and leads Jinyu into the city. She leads Jinyu to say that in the human world, it will attract everyone's attention, but this is the upper world. Since Yunwoo entered Qingyong City, many passers-by came and went, only occasionally someone glanced at her, only a few seconds away, completely ignoring the strange phenomenon that the fire whip tied the woman. The Cloud dances with a black eyebrow. I deeply sympathize with these people in the upper world. Strange phenomena are so common that I should be used to them. It's said that there's a silver list in the Peihong Gate. As long as you catch someone, you'll give him a royal pearl. Your news is too backward. The silver list has been exposed for a long time. I've also heard about it. It seems that it's a mysterious woman. I'm not very clear about the specific situation. Yunwoo passed a restaurant and met several people who had just come out of the restaurant. They stopped to listen to the news. The corner of her mouth seemed to smile. It was the news she needed. Ah, elder brother, it's the silver list of the Thunder Gate. Why don't you go and have a look? Cloud danced to several people chat up a smile, pretending to be ignorant asked. Several men cast a suspicious glance at Yunwoo. Their eyes were on Jinyu's body behind her, and they stayed for a moment. I've been exposed for a long time, little girl. I advise you to go there and see if there's any copperplate you can pick up, so as not to ask for trouble. The man pointed to a golden place in the distance. Copper list? Silver list? There won't be a golden list, will there? Cloud dance eyes a black, along the man pointed to the place to lift eyes to glance, vaguely saw a word, eyes a cold smile quietly flashed. Yes, thank you, brother. I'll go and have a look now. Yunwoo gets the news she wants and leads Jinyu to the past. One in front of the other and the other behind, Jinyu said that although she was not as brilliant as the clouds, she was also a beauty. Yunwoo's eyes are low and his mouth is smiling. At first glance, it looks like a poodle. It's quite classy behind her. Jinyu said that her anger under her charming eyes could almost burn 10 miles away. Yunwoo pretended to be imperceptible and let her anger ignite. After a while, Yunwoo came to the place where the man pointed. Looking at it, he was satisfied with his eyes. Thunder Gate. The whole gate and wall courtyard are stone. Cloud dance glances at the top of the wall, and there is a cold light in her eyes. The stone wall is only 1.5 people high, but the sky is covered by powerful spiritual power. The hazy spiritual power is like ripples, constantly fluctuating. She was 10 meters away from the Lingli mask, and she could still feel the strength of Lingli clearly. There was a stone gate under the wall, and there were 2 guards outside. It seems that the only entrance to the gate is this stone gate. Cloud dance moves her eyes to the extremely dazzling plaque. The plaque is as clear as water, with some haze. It looks like a plaque suddenly supported by some powerful spiritual power. She was stunned at the design of a plaque. Isn't it more weird inside the gate? On the plaque, there is an introduction to the gate. Cloud Dance looked at the introduction, a trace of surprise passed in her eyes. Upper bound the aggregation point of all messages. Where is the origin of the elixir in the human world? With all kinds of rare pills in the world, is the worst enough to upgrade one stage? My God! Cloud Dance exclaimed from the bottom of his heart, what is the place of this Thundergate? It's just a bad name. The background is scary. When he moved his eyes to the middle, his amazing eyes suddenly turned black. There were 3 square squares on them, which were written, bronze, silver, and gold. There's a golden list. Is it a gold list nomination? Yunwoo takes back her eyes and is even more interested in Pei Hongmen. To whom? Yunwoo comes to the gate of the Thunder Gate and is stopped by the guard at the gate. Master Liao Zongtian. Cloud Dance cold glance guard, indifferent way. The guard was stunned for a moment when he heard the words, and then looked at Yunwoo warily. What's the matter with the headmaster? After exposing the silver list, it's time to deliver the goods. Cloud Dance glances at the guard, his eyes are cold. The style of the gate is really different. Even a small guard has such sharp eyes. Wait. Who's looking for me? The guard just wanted to say wait a moment, a husky Hanson voice came out of the door and interrupted the guard. As the stone door opened, a man in a leather robe came out. Yunwoo looked at the man who came out, with thick eyebrows and sharp eyes. He was about 40 years old, but he had white hair, which was very abrupt and strange. The result is the same, she can't see his strength. You want me? Liao Zongtian, with his hands behind his back and sharp eyes, looks down at Yunwoo. Cloud Dance put away the look, slightly jaw-head, indifferent way, you want people, brought. Liao Zongtian squints his eyes and looks at Jinyu behind Yunwoo. His deep eyes stop for a few seconds, and he looks at Yunwoo again, are you sure she is? She was so noisy all the way that I called her dumb acupoint. Did she tell you her identity? Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrow way. Liao Zongtian was silent for a long time and said, no, bring it in. Cloud Dance's smile passed quietly. Who would admit that he was the one he was looking for in this fatal situation? It's the same whether you open your mouth or not. As soon as he stepped into the door, Yunwoo felt a powerful spiritual power coming in an instant. Thinking about it, he knew that the spiritual power came from the spiritual mask above. Liao Zongtian takes her into a corner. When she crosses the corner, she sees an ordinary house. It's not a stone wall, and it has no powerful pressure. Cloud Dance's eyes were surprised. Is this another courtyard or the inner courtyard of the Thunder Gate? Jin Yuyen, who is following them, sees this scene. Her eyes are low and her eyes wander around. She seems to want to see it clearly. Although Yunwoo's back is facing her, she can still feel her movements, and the corners of her mouth outline a curve. It seems that she has long wanted to visit here. Yunwoo followed Liao Zongtian to the house room, and the 3 sat down. Master, I've come here. I don't know if I can bring something. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to put on a smile, the eye bottom actually flits over to put on an imperceptible meditation calculation. There will be no less than what the Thunder Gate has promised. Come and get something. Liao Zongtian's eyesight was heavy, and he was obviously not happy with what Yunwoo wanted just after he sat down. Wait a minute. Cloud Dance's hand slightly lift, called to turn around to leave of attendant. Looking back, he smiles to Liao Zongtian, how can the Thunder Gate care about that? I just want to talk about it. I want to make a living under the leader of Liao in the future. If you want to make a living, well, you can stay for a while, and I'll arrange the rest. Liao Zongtian's sharp eyes narrowed, and his displeasure soon covered up. That's very kind. Thank you for your appreciation. Then she. Yunwoo smiles and points to Jinyu, who has been black all the time. His acting skills are amazing, somebody, take her down. Liao Zongtian stood up and took a look at Yunwu. Today is a good day to have a rest. I'll talk about it tomorrow. Yes, Master Liao, take your time. The cloud dances slightly to lean over, the eye bottom flows light to pass by, glancing at Liao Zongtian to walk, standing upright. She only needs half a night. With Jinyu's strength, she can get rid of the fire whip for a long time, but she hasn't moved all the time. She just wants her to take the lead and sneak into the Thunder Gate. No, it should be said that you want to sneak into the cell of the Thunder Gate. However, Yunwu feels a little sorry. When she points her dumb acupoint, she condenses a cluster of spiritual power in her body. As long as the power in her body swims away, the spiritual power will spread and fill her, making her miserable and unable to use her power. In case she broke away from the fire rope, it seems that she can't use it for the time being, but she also took advantage of her identity to live in the gate of Peihong. It's 2 by 2. It's even. She couldn't help but get excited when she thought of the pills in the gate. In this place where martial arts is the most important, elixir is just like eating at ordinary times. It's good to eat and get fat. So is elixir. All the pills in the gate must be top grade. She wants to take advantage of the night to clean up some pills. Jinyu says that once she achieves her goal, she will tell her identity. At that time, Liao Zongtian will come back to catch her, so her time is very urgent, so she must do things early and leave early. Cloud Dance looks at the night outside the house, and the corners of her mouth arc up. The night is cold, quiet and charming, and the moonlight is clear. Under the moonlight, a delicate phantom passes by, galloping at the speed of ghosts, wandering in the gate of the Thunder Gate. Cloud Dance wind element wrapped body, less than half a column of incense time, will walk around the door of a probably. The gate is not too big, but every place is extremely strange. Except for a few servants, there are few bodyguards and others. Even if the smart mask is powerful, even if it's hard to be infiltrated here, it's not so high profile, right? Except for the 2 at the door, there's no guard inside. The Cloud Dance leans under a tree, the star eye is shining in the moonlight, and the bottom of the eye is wiping meditation. Suddenly, under the quiet night, a strange sound passed under her feet, and then she felt a rumble at her feet. Cloud Dance micro frown, side back a few steps, squat on the ground, suspicious looking at the foot, eyebrow tip a pick. Is there something fishy under the ground? She followed the trembling sound all the way, and the sound disappeared in the corner of the stone wall. Yunwu stood up and looked around at the stone wall. She didn't find anything unusual. Suddenly, she found a strange phenomenon. In the moonlight, the reflection of the stone wall where the sound disappeared was much higher than that in other places. All of a sudden, the corner of her mouth is slightly raised, and her eyes are fixed on a black stone. The black stone is as big as a fingernail. I don't care about it. I don't notice it at all. She took down the black stone. There was no movement in the stone wall. Then she put the stone in again and pressed it down hard. Boom! The sound of the stone wall moving to the left. Yunwu looked at the stone wall moving away, exposed the hole, lips slightly pursed, eyes swept a touch of joy. It seems that this is it. Suddenly, the purple phantom swept away and disappeared at the entrance of the cave. It's extremely dark inside the cave. With the light of fire element, Cloud Dance can vaguely see the situation around. After a while, the cave under the passage will come to the end. Cloud Dance by the weak light of the fire element, sweep away, eye light inside a touch of surprise. It's an underground house. She just stepped into the courtyard, but found that the courtyard used array. Although she could see the situation inside, she had to break the array if she wanted to enter. After thinking for a moment, although the array here can't defeat her, she still doesn't want to die too many brain cells, so she uses Chaos Hall to go in and out again, breaks the array and goes in. As soon as you enter the courtyard, Cloud Dance has only one feeling, gloomy. Extremely gloomy. With the whistling and tearing sound of the cold wind, there is a kind of gloomy feeling like an old house. Suddenly, The cloud dances a zheng, the Mao light passes a silk surprised, cold wind. This is an underground house. Where does the wind come from? Oh. A silver cold light came. The cloud dance I ground suddenly surprised, almost as the condition launch of the volley retreat, cold long sword with bone-piercing cold on and her neck pass by. Who is it? Angry spread, a black figure just appeared. In the dark, he couldn't see the man's face clearly. Cloud dance sneered and said, the one who takes your life. In a moment, Gu Wu's broadsword came out with a strong and powerful force. It was smashed in the air in an instant. The night was torn open and condensed again in an instant. Bang! When the swords collided, there was a flash of lightning. The cloud-dancing figure twisted in the air, the residual shadow remained, the sword threatened, a touch of scarlet, blood stained the light of the black flame sword. The man dragged his fiery back, stepped back, looked directly at the cloud, and said with a little anger, "Who are you?" The dead don't need answers. Cloud dance Mao light a cold, straight hook of looking at that person. She can feel that there must be good things in this house. She always has the feeling that she can't explain the good things clearly, and this time is no exception. More importantly, there should not be many people guarding here, because the sound of swords touching each other is so loud that no one else appears. Up to now she wondered if he would be the only one here. Do you know where this is? The man angrily rebukes, regarding the cloud dance's appearance, is still very surprised now. How do you know? What if I don't know? Cloud dance a cold smile, the corner of the mouth yang disdain smile. She just took something and left. Do you know what the difference is? I advise you to leave now, I can do nothing. Otherwise. As soon as the man's voice sank, he didn't go on. Or you're welcome. Cloud dance slightly pick eyebrows. Although she was not familiar with everything in the gate, those pills were really tempting to her, so she wanted to break into the dragon's den and tiger's den. It seems that you are looking for death. The man's low anger, the long sword instantly rolled from the mat, and the power of Wuzuan's early stage was whirling around. The palm of cloud dance unfolds, and a breath of vegetation strikes. In an instant, the man's strong fighting spirit is on the bar. In the next second, the water element instantly condenses into a sharp blade, and the wind element rolls more than a dozen sharp blades to the man. The speed is out of reach. Bang! The man's figure instantly retrogressed and tumbled to more than 10 meters away. Under the dark night, the man looked at the cloud dance. Obviously, he didn't expect that the cloud dance was composed of 3 elements in one go. The incomparable perfect cooperation made his anger more obvious. Smoke Cold glanced at a man, corner of the mouth indifference, from into the space released a small stink and Hungling. Have fun. Wait for me to come back. Yunwu glanced at Xiaoqiu and Hungling, and left. Ma. I see, master. The man looks at small stink and red ling, pupil is dilated, eye ground is put on a bit unbelievable. Contract beast? She's a summoner. Is it the seething summoner in the human world? Smelly thing, he's mine. Play with him. Hum. Little stink gave a cold hum. If you dare to understand my food, I will eat you. I'm going to burn him, barbecue him. I want it raw. The 2 little things began to fight again. The man watched them fight. A black line appeared on his forehead. The black line will appear forever after sweeping the tail. Yunwu has been storming all the way. She has searched 5 rooms. All the 5 rooms are filled with strange grass, and there is nothing she wants. Yunwu comes to the last room and frowns slightly. The last one, won't you let her down? Bang! Extremely not gentle kick door sound rings out. After the dust falls, Yunwu walks into the room. After seeing the situation in the room, his eyes are suddenly cold. There is nothing in the room, nothing, not even a table or chair. The cloud dances all around, the chill suddenly falls, and the cool breath almost condenses the ethereal dust in the air. She did not give up to inspect the room for a week, and really did not find anything. Her eyes were icy and cold. After half a night, she got this result. Bang! The purple fighting spirit in Yunwoo's hand swept out and hit the wall instantly. If you can't take something away, leave something behind, and you'll have a better psychological balance. At the same second, the walls began to creak, as if they were moving. After a while, a wall suddenly came out. Inside, there were boxes one by one, just like the drawers of modern Chinese medicine. As soon as she got close, she felt a strong spiritual power. The closer she got, the clearer she felt. There was a voice in her heart calling, "Here it is." Skimming to the wall box, she picked up a box and carefully looked around in her hands. As soon as she raised her mouth, the perfect radiance reappeared. Pa! With a clear sound, the box opened. Suddenly, a cold silver needle shot straight at the cloud. It was as fast as lightning and could not be caught. Yunwoo quickly retreated and threw out the box in his hand in the same second. With a clang sound, the box was thrown in the corner and broke to pieces. The clouds looked at the box, and the undercurrent was surging. They thought it was something good, but they almost destroyed the silver needle. Looking up at the silver needle on the roof, the cloud dances and the corner of the mouth is cold. It's really poisonous. The white roof was infected by the venom, and the silver needle was infected with black venom. Roof can be infected, not to mention the skin. If she didn't miss that shot, it's creepy to think about it with this experience. When Yunwoo opened the next box, she had a wooden sword in her hand and was very careful. At the moment of opening the box, Yunwoo's eyes were fixed in the box, and didn't move. The fundus of his eyes was shining. It's a clear and dense bead. You can see that there is something swimming in it. Sure enough, it's a good thing. The cloud dances around the corner of the mouth and takes the bead back into the space. As for the function, we have to test it one by one. 1, 2, 3. Yunwoo opened all the boxes, swept away the 10 beads, saw that there was nothing good, swept away the shadow, and smeared oil on the soles of his feet. After returning to the outside, Xiao Smelly and Hongling have solved the problem, and Yunwoo is a little surprised. Against Wuzuan's initial strength, they have solved it so quickly. It's really shocking. But Hongling didn't eat that man. Yunwoo couldn't figure it out. Hongling, don't you eat such good meat? The cloud dances toward the red ling to pick eyebrow, the doubt of eye ground flits by. Hongling immediately shook her head, glanced at the man's body, broken meat, I don't eat. Cloud dance eyes a deep, staring at the red ling for a long time. The red ling see the whole body gloomy, and small stink that millennial grinding human essence, touch her eyes cold on, seems also quiet a lot. Go back to space. Yunwoo takes back her eyes indifferently and takes them back to the space. Before leaving, she takes a deep look at the man's body, and her eyes are cold. Thinking that the corpse might be a little strange, she thought for a moment, and then she threw the man to the place not far from the 6th room. The purple phantom flashed and disappeared in the underground courtyard. When she returned to the gate again, she went into the array without knowing it. As the array moved, she saw a new scene instead of the gate. How many secret ways of array are there in this gate? Cloud Dance looks at the iron house more than 10 meters high in front of her eyes, and her eyes are cold. Under the moonlight, the iron house reflects the miserable white, and the whole feeling is gloomy. She glances around, and her eyes are stunned. For a moment, the iron house actually lives on the top of the cliff. His forehead was frowning, and the wind was cold and whistling in his ear from time to time. Cloud Dance eyebrow tip a pick, eyes streamer 100 turn. Isn't this the prison of the Thundergate? She had a good eye. Since it was a cliff, she had already left the gate of Peihong, so she didn't have to work hard to break the boundary. Although she had found the weakness of the boundary, it would be better if it didn't take any trouble. Since there is a route to escape at any time, how can we not visit this cell? Purple figure a shake, virtual shadow countless, that white figure has disappeared, a sneer is still hidden in the moonlight. Cold iron cell, hanging on the cliff. From time to time a strong wind whistling out, all of a sudden people's hair are erect. This cell lives on the top of the cliff. There are not many guards, but Yunwoo finds several powerful people here. This cell should be guarded by several of them. The 3 people that Yunwoo saw were all the top of Wusheng, so it's not necessary to say much about their strength. Or not. Suddenly, a voice colder than this cell came out. Cloud suddenly stopped, hiding in a corner, listening carefully. Kill me. And then there was another hoarse voice. Oh. That person disdains to smile, can you be so cheap? For more than 20 years, what's the use of keeping that secret? Elder of the evil clan the Cloud dances to smell a speech tiny Aleng, half hang of the mouse sun inside flit a to spread to ponder. Evil clan elder. The response to that man was a long silence. Well, I want to give you a chance to live, but you don't cherish it. If you don't tell me, I don't know where he is. That person raises a sky to smile, smile is bloodthirsty merciless ice cold. You know. The pale voice trembled with surprise. But soon, it converged again. Don't worry, I will reunite you with the little lord you are protecting as soon as possible. At the end of the speech, Yunwoo saw a very strange figure swept out. It seemed that it disappeared out of thin air, and could not touch any trace at all. The little master of the evil family? Did he say Cloud Dance is stunned, in the heart faintly feels that the matter seems to be more and more dangerous. Cloud Dance has been hiding in the corner for a long time. It is certain that the person left here and then appears. A purple figure passes by and moves towards the source of the sound. In a flash, another person appeared in the chilly cell. The old man felt the arrival of Cloud Dance, and his decadent eyes were filled with surprise. Then it returned to normal, still hanging on the ground. Cloud Dance looks at the person who is tied by the black iron and decadent on the ground in front of him, and his eyes are startled. Some of the black iron had infiltrated into his flesh and blood, and was connected with his flesh and blood. His lean body seemed to have no strength to bear, and he was hanging in the air in pain. Who is the young master of the evil clan he just said? Cloud Dance's eyes rub cold voice such as cold blades swept out. It can be used not only to describe the crow, but also to describe him. Black robe, black hair, black eyes, face is also dark black, the whole body is filled with strange dark breath. If we could not vaguely feel the purity of his power, we would not find him in this dark night. Cloud Dance can't help but squint eyes dark. It's amazing that such a dark and treacherous person has such pure power. Who? The dark voice was cold. I said it was a friend, do you believe it? The Cloud dances, the corners of the mouth are not happy and sneer. The letter. In the same second, a dark dragon appeared in the night, and suddenly attacked the powerful force and shook to the clouds. As soon as the Cloud dancing figure was swept away, a strong burning sensation appeared. In a moment, the black dragon and the burning sensation disappeared at the same time. Well, it seems to have some ability. The voice of sarcasm, without a ripple, is extremely harsh. You're not bad. You have 2 powers. Although she said it carelessly, she was surprised. It's really rare for her to have such dark and pure power at the same time. Can you see that? There was a ripple in the cold voice. Cloud Dance eyebrows a pick, he means that others cannot see it. Looking at the man's dark and bloody eyes, she frowned slightly. It's a big trouble, it seems that you can only die here today. Tight lips slightly pick, kill meaning rub ran diffuse cliff around. In a flash, the 2 figures attack and dye the edge, and sweep away the dazzling light in the dark, just like Dazzle. With more than 10 moves, Yunwoo is more and more difficult to deal with. This man's strength is higher than him. Although he thought about calling those kids, he gave up the idea for their safety. Bang! The 2 forces are in direct conflict. The light suddenly erupts, tearing open the night and creating a strange landscape in mid-air. In a flash, Yunwoo's figure was shocked to the edge of the cliff, but the man just stepped back. Yunwoo's eyes are as dark as Gyuten's, and her breath is a little short. The impact on her just now is not small. Is this the power of the people in the upper world? The guard strength of the gatekeeper is at the level of Wusheng, and the skill of running errands is above Wuzuan. Oh, Cloud danced lips with a sneer. Which world is to rely on strength to survive? Want to survive in the upper world must become stronger. The man pursed his lips tightly. Step by step, he was like death, coming like clouds, passing a trace of pleasure in his strange eyes like a black hole. It was the pleasure when he was about to kill his prey. I'll jump if you take a step. Looking at the pleasure in the man's eyes, Yunwoo frowned slightly and swore in his heart that he would come back to clean him up when his strength became stronger in the future. As everyone knows, later because of this idea, pulled out a big wave of trouble. I advise you to. Is this the boundary of space? Completely isolated in the middle of the mountain, it can hold up the border of almost all the oppressive forces. Cloud Dance is stunned. What is the strength of the people who can create such a border? Suddenly, her hand touched a cold, stiff object. Cloud Dance slightly frowned and looked up, only to find that it was actually a white bone. It looked like a white bone on an arm. It had been gnawed extremely ferociously by something, and the circles were uneven. Cloud Dance ponders for a moment. The eye ground is dark full. What cannibal still has here? When she thought of cannibals, she couldn't help thinking of Hungling. Put away astonished, Phoenix eyes look around, dense fog around, through the fuzzy line of sight. Cloud Dance, I passed surprised light. In the distance is a stone platform, on which a tree is blooming. There are all kinds of silver fruits hanging on the tree, emitting a bright light. What fruit is that? Cloud Dance, a touch of fine light flashed by. Purple posture a sweep, instant came to the fruit tree. It was found that the fruit tree is actually transparent up and down, such as ice, emitting a clear luster. As soon as entering the boundary of space, Cloud Dance can smell a strong smell of flowers. At a glance, I saw a strange flower constantly swaying, from left to right, from time to time also fell a few leaves, but can penetrate into the space. She looked at the flower that seemed to have ADHD, and her forehead frowned slightly. Then, a touch of meditation passed by the bottom of my eyes. Who made the boundary of space? What race is this fruit tree? In the next second, a touch of gold was shining in the bright eyes, and it was gone in the twinkling of an eye. Yunwoo suddenly raised her eyes. Her eyes happened to catch the fruit with golden light. Against the silver light, the golden light was particularly dazzling. Suddenly, a flash of rapid mirage passed by, and the golden fruit had reached Yunwoo's hand. She looked at the golden fruit in her hand, and her eyes were full of light. The golden fruit is as bright as the sun and the moon, and reflects the cloud's cold and white face. Cloud Dance thought, such a prominent thing, must be a good thing. Mouth raised a smile, almost enchanting. The next second will swallow the fruit in the mouth, chewing. Well, it's delicious. It's cool and refreshing. She hasn't eaten for a day. These fruits are really the best for her hunger. To die. Who moved my unicorn fruit? Just as Yunwoo picked the second silver fruit to prepare for the entrance, a voice of anger and fierce prison came down from the sky. The roar was fierce and frightening. Yunwoo's hands froze for a second, and then he put the fruit into his mouth. Looking at the person who had come to the stone platform, he raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. The fruit tastes good, or would you like to taste it? This is an old man in his 70s, dressed in white plain clothes, with white hair, white eyebrows and a long beard almost hanging to his neck. The old man's fierce eyes were filled with cold anger. His face was as dark as night. He could not stop staring at the clouds. There was anger in his eyes, and a trace of heartache and reluctance. Cloud Dance picks eyebrows. What a tangled old man. He ate 2 of your fruits, but he can't afford to move so much, you. The old man pointed to the Cloud Dance. You for a long time, just did not say complete. The Cloud Dance is a facial expression, looking at the old man. Yue, don't worry, slowly say. You ate that golden fruit? The old man's angry eyes with a trace of expectation, seems to expect Cloud Dance said did not eat. Yes. Ah. A roar, carry out the whole cliff, constantly circling echo, silk Chinru heartstrings. Do you know that it took me 100 years to pick out the gifted Kylan fruit, and finally I picked out such a one. It took me 100 years to turn into gold today. You're going to give me a bite to lose? The old man could not say whether he was worried or angry. He pointed a finger at Yunwu, and his heart was very painful. Cloud Dance's eyes flitted a doubt, eyebrow tip tiny pick, so you live 200 years. That's not the point. The old man roared again. Eat it all. Just wait for it for 200 years. Yunwu frowned slightly. He was still wary of the old man. He must be a moody man after living for 200 years. It's not as simple as you said. The inexhaustible voice is carried out in Yunwu's ear. Yunwu only feels that there is no other voice in the ear except the buzzing roar. 300 years ago, he found 2 highly gifted unicorn fruits. One of them turned golden 30 years ago and was eaten by a woman who had no intention of breaking into his border. And this one turned into gold again 50 years later, but was eaten by the woman in front of her. Blamed. Do you think heaven is going to kill him? What do you say? Are you spitting it out for you? Cloud Dance glanced at the old man indifferently, and his eyes were cold. I'll kill you and avenge my life. The old man's eyes flashed dark, and his anger was as black as a blade. Cloud Dance micro frown, cold way, you don't live well. Why take revenge for yourself? Without golden Kylan fruit, I will be stuck here all my life. Do you think I should kill you? As soon as his white eyebrows coagulated, the bottom of his eyes suddenly passed. Yunwu looks at the old man in doubt, and then at the boundary of the space. He suddenly understands that it is not the old man who designed the residence for himself, but is sealed in the boundary. I can come in, why can't you go out? When entering the border, Yunwu almost didn't feel any abnormality, so he rushed in. With the old man's cultivation, it's not difficult to go out of the border, is it? Hearing this, the old man twisted his face. No one in the whole upper boundary can come in. Who knows who you are? At this point, the old man's angry voice turned into endless bitterness. He thought that no one could enter the border, so he was relieved to put the Kylan fruit outside and bathe in the power of the border, which could quickly increase the maturity of the Kylan fruit. Who knows, is it accidental to come in 1, or accidental to come in 2? The sky of wood. What boundary do you seal? Cloud Dance suspiciously glanced at the old man. The whole upper world no one can come in. She didn't come in without feeling. What did you say about you? Has anyone else come in? 15 years ago, there was one person who came in as easily as you. The old man glared at Yunwu angrily, as if gnashing his teeth. There are 2 gifted unicorn fruits in total, but you 2 each have 1. I've eaten them all. Cloud Dance lips slightly pull, a touch of dazzling smile. Old man, I'm really sorry. Oh. Cloud Dance lips slightly pull, a touch of dazzling smile. Old man, I'm really sorry. In fact, she wanted to say, old man, you are really unfortunate. The only hope for me to get out of the border is that you don't want to go out here today. Suddenly, a white mist appeared in front of my eyes, like a hurricane, sharp as a blade, directly rolled to the clouds. The Cloud Dance jumps back in an instant. The purple robe pulled by the wind is a step late, and it is twisted into pieces by the hurricane fog. Cloud Dance facial expression a dark, crystal bright mouse sun inside a wipe surprised to pass by, the sharp edge suddenly appears. What a mysterious power. Your strength is pretty good, and then I'll take this move. At the same second when the voice fell, without waiting for Yunwu to fight back, it floated to Yunwu like a sickle-like mist. Xingmo was suddenly surprised and slightly turned his head to avoid the strange blow. The atmosphere condenses, and the space is rippling with the urgency of fighting. Cloud Dance looked at the foot of that wisp of hair, eye-cold light swept, bloodthirsty look instant wind up. And the old man's angry eyes looked at Yunwoo strangely. How do I think you are similar to the woman 15 years ago? Cloud dance cold Mao tiny lift, pure and cold way, all by you so easy a blow force of continuously retreat. Ha ha. The old man suddenly looked up at the sky and laughed wildly. His wrinkled face softened and said, what I said is really good. Compared with her at the beginning, you are really inferior. Well, I'd like to know what kind of person she is. When I see her one day, I'll bring her most precious things to you. Cloud dance cold hum a, the corner of the mouth raises sneer. That's best, but his name is Huang Yingying. Remember that name. The old man snorted and laughed, as if he was sarcastic to Yunwoo's words. Yellow warbler. The cloud dances the pupil, the eye is momentary a leng. So the woman he was talking about was her mother? Yunwoo's eyes narrowed slightly. She said that 15 years ago, that was when she was just born. Did she come to the upper boundary at that time? Did you come from captivity or by yourself? That's my mother. Cloud dance lifted eyes to see an old man coldly. What? The old man hears speech to shout a, fierce mouse son can't believe of looking at Cloud dance, you say she is your mother? Cloud dance slightly jaw head. After a long time, the old man seemed to be relieved. I should have thought of that. Besides the people of the witch clan, who can easily enter the border. Cloud dances in the eyes to brush over to put on a doubt, this border why the sorcerer clan then can enter and leave at will. Well, you should ask your mother about that. The old man didn't get angry and said, if other people fall on the border, they will either starve or freeze to death. Cloud dance micro frown, this border is really so magical. Witch people can go in at will, but others can only die. In a moment, a touch of surprise flashed across her eyes. She thought that the border had something to do with her mother. Shouldn't Yunwoo's face suddenly turned black? For the sake of you being her daughter, I'll let you go today, but you'll have to stay with me and leave together when your mother comes back. What? Cloud dance eyebrows a pick, not credible looking at the old man, but I have not seen her since birth, and so on her own back, I guess I also buried in the neck of Luss. Little girl, she's very eloquent. You can either stay with me or die. You choose. The old man's eyes flashed cold, but the bottom of his eyes flashed a touch of abnormality, and he watched the cloud dance coldly all the time. Cloud dance micro frown, coagulation the old man for a long time, finally the old man looked away from the eyes. The corner of her lips pulled out a mysterious smile, and the gaze in her eyes also converged. I still have too many things to put down. I can't stay here, but I promise that when I finish my obsession, I will bring her back to see you, and then I will be able to let you out. The old man was frozen for half a second. After a long time, he sighed, well, as you said, I let you go. I believe your promise. Don't let me down. Although the language is ironic, it contains a trace of reluctant emotion. Cloud dance lips cape smile, I promise you in the name of Summoner, this time you should rest assured. Summoner? The old man's eyes were startled, and he swept to the clouds with sharp eyes. Is this girl a summoner? No wonder he can always feel the unusual smell on this girl. No wonder she still looks normal after eating Kylan fruit. That unicorn is a fierce beast. Cloud dance indifferent a hook mouth, nothing, I left first. Wait. The old man suddenly called Cloud dance, the fundus of his eyes suspiciously flitted by, is there any abnormality in your body? Cloud dance looks back, micro cu eyebrow space is full of don't understand, what abnormality? At the end of the next second, her willow eyebrows tightly wrinkled, look suddenly stiff up. There seems to be something burning in the abdomen. The intensity of the burning is not much worse than the original fire. The rolling hot, such as ringing stick in the general, the viscera are almost condensed. Cold face suddenly a little more sweat, pale, that pair of willow eyebrows seem to be twisted together, shaking body, finally cannot bear the erosion, a staggering lying on the ground. The old man leisurely walked a few steps, looked at the pain-twisted cloud dance, cold hum a smile. This Kylan fruit is of great benefit to your self-cultivation. Although you can't take it for yourself, it only needs a little to help you reach another stage, but you must also bear the inhuman pain. Your mother came here like this, so you can enjoy it, just to make me feel comfortable. In the hazy, Yunwoo only heard the last two words. Burning hot haze in the breath of a strong cold flash, weak open eyes, she saw that pair of fierce eyes, is staring at her for a moment, seems to be enjoying her pain. The misty star's eyes flitted across a cold light. Look further, she can't guarantee that there will be the bottom line of respecting the elderly. The old man seemed to feel her obvious chill. He sipped the corner of his mouth and stood up to enjoy the tea in the tea pavilion not far away. Yunwoo closed her eyes again, and the burning in her heart seemed to want to break out. Snow-white skin at the moment completely red, but also vaguely can see the red body in the body. Zizi's burning sound is more and more intense. Yunwoo's whole body is full of crystal red light, such as blood-red jade without impurities, which is extremely transparent. Oh! There's a weird hiss. The cloud dances in the misty, startled, this voice spreads out in her body. Why did she feel a shiver and vibration in her body when she screamed? Sweat-soaked hair and robes, strong burning feeling seems to gradually calm a lot, and that red body also gradually restores Snow White. Finally, the figure of the cold, proud and arrogant, stood up in some confusion. At that moment, the hurricane around the whole space stopped suddenly, the air condensed, and even the exotic flowers blooming and swaying in the space stopped shaking. The night shrouds like misty, the hurricane insect chirps sa 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 sa, all is falling into at the moment death stop. The old man's fingers with the teacup turned white slightly, and his eyes looked unbelievable. In the early days of Wuzong, this girl broke through Wuzong. Did she absorb the power of Kylan fruit? How is that possible? It took thousands of years of spiritual power to make the Kylan fruit silver. It took 100 years of spiritual power to make the Kylan fruit gold. At that time, the power of the golden Kylan fruit was 10 times greater than that of the silver Kylan fruit. It is also because the golden Kylan fruit is so powerful that no one can absorb it completely. But it only needs a little, and the ability to improve is quite okay. And this girl actually absorbed it completely. Directly over 2 levels to Wuzong. You know, it's even more difficult for her to reach the level of Wuzuan. She has passed 2 levels. The old man looked at Yunwoo's eyes as if he saw a monster. Is there such a person against heaven? The old man couldn't help but be surprised again. Because he was too excited, the teacup in his hand was pinched to pieces, and the tea was sprinkled on his robe, and he didn't realize it. Cloud Dance micro frown, eyes as cool as Qingquan, also difficult to cover up the color of the eyes, slightly stunned. She was promoted to Wuzong. She can feel that when she can't bear the erosion in her body, it is the evil phage in her body that devours it and calms it down in her body. Cloud Dance's eyes narrowed and a little doubt passed. How could magic bites suddenly devour the unicorn fruit? Is it ontological reaction or intentional? At that moment, she thought at a loss, but she could not get the correct solution, so she had to answer it one by one. I didn't expect you to be more uncanny than your mother. The old man snorted, but his face was very ugly. If you know the present result, will you still show the same look as before? Cloud Dance cold glanced at him, one eye, tone is insipid. The old man's face trembled when he heard the speech. He stood up, walked slowly to Yunwoo, took out a medicine pill from his arms and handed it to Yunwoo. This is a fire 6 grade yuan pill. It can blend with the power of Kylan fruit in your body. It may be useful in the future, but what? See that old man say half stop again, Cloud Dance pick eyebrow. Although things are good, they also have advantages and disadvantages, so don't take them until you have to. What do you mean? I gave her a good thing, but I said this again. Yunwoo looks at Yuandan in front of him, and his complex emotions flash away. However, Cloud Dance also nods. Then, he put Yuandan into the space, grinning, and the purple phantom swept away. At the beginning, I was almost killed by just a Feng's 2nd grade Yuan Dan. The fire's 6th grade Dan was sent to the door by myself. There's no reason why I don't accept it. Thank you, old man. I'll come back to see you later. You'd better not come back. The sudden roar from all over the sky shocked the space and directly hit the cliff. With the invasion of the hurricane, the more you listen, the more eerie you are. Cloud Dance Mouth a Yang, at the bottom of the gray cliff, swept out a very dazzling light. Skimming the elements of the wind, the cloud dances and leans down all the way. It takes almost a long time to finally touch the cliff ground. Besides the boundary in mid-air, this cliff is just an ordinary cliff. There is a stairway under the cliff, and several people will pass by one after another. For example, the villagers nearby are carrying baskets to salvage the petals in the cliff waterfall. The petals are the residual petals of flowers with exotic fragrance in the space. It's probably for my wife to take a bath. Cloud Dance took a look at the ladder road, looking at those villagers tired, almost bent over, the corners of the mouth tightly pursed, the fundus of the eye swept a helpless. In an instant, she summoned Jinling, and the fierce wind rustled past her ears. In a short time, she reached the top of the cliff. Cloud Dance glances around. It was found that the iron cell was on the top of a towering mountain, with arrays on 3 sides, and the remaining side was the cliff, which was undoubtedly the best defense line. The other 3-sided array is also extremely ingenious. Now it seems that if she hadn't broken into this array by accident, it would be really difficult. It's really crooked. If you're lucky, don't say anything. Back to the top of the cliff, Yunwu takes Jinling back to space, turns around and leaves, and walks all the way. After passing 2 remote corners, Yunwu finally stops. And always following her, 2 people dressed as villagers stopped at the same time. Yunwu's eyes were cold. After she reached the top of the cliff, they followed her all the time. They thought it was just a coincidence that the villagers came home, but they followed her at 2 rare intersections. If she thinks it's a coincidence, she's stupid. Suddenly turned around, Cloud Dance glanced at 2 people, eyes color cold, such as charm, voice cold suffocation. Way, who sent you to follow me? It seems that since she came to the upper bound, there has been a hand constantly pushing the whole thing, and the thing is aimed at her. She knew that these people and these things were inseparable from the word, Wu Clan. The corners of her lips outlined a bloody cold light. It seemed that things were getting more and more complicated and clear. The 2 didn't answer and didn't mean to leave. On the contrary, they looked at Yunwu with a suspicious disdain in their eyes. Is she as powerful as the master said? Cloud Dance's face is dark, the smile of the corner of the lip, the bloodthirsty yin cold. The 2 errands of Wuxing Peak are really magnificent. In the case that everyone couldn't see clearly, the powerful force of a black flame dagger pierced the stone wall in the middle of their faces, sonorous roaring and shaking. The fierce roar made their ears buzzing all of a sudden. Looking at the black flame sword, they were surprised and trembled. This speed is like being pricked by the tip of a needle. When there is no feeling at all, it has been pulled out. Not yet, is it? Cloud Dance, cold eyes a Lin, eyebrows light Yang a pick. The strange quietness of the atmosphere, the suffocation of the air condensation. It's me. Suddenly, a voice of arrogance and publicity came into Cloud Dance's ear. I saw a brown figure appear in mid-air, with incomparable publicity capital, a black silk floating in the wind, sliding on the extremely beautiful face. The arc is more provocative. In an instant, the powerful power of Guwu broadsword suddenly condensed and impacted. Jin Yu's words draw out space, the black iron sword resist. In an instant, the sharp and fierce tearing air current cut the skirt, reflected in the eyes of bewitching. Bang! The sound of collision pulled away, and the afterwave forced the 2 on the side back a few steps. When the aftershocks dissipate and the dark atmosphere is no longer full, we can see their strange figures clearly. That clank in the sharp hurricane clothes finally shaking a few times to restore calm. Looking at the situation in front of them, their expressions froze instantly. After a long time, the surprised color of their eyes floated up, and their black eyes were full of horror. What's going on? The First Lady was. Have you been defeated? How is that possible? The strength of the First Lady has surpassed that of the Wuzong class. How can you beat her with a single blow? At the moment, Jin Yu half knelt on the ground, the corner of her mouth overflowed with blood, her face was pale and bloodless, and seemed to be greatly impacted. A pair of bloodshot eyes are staring at the clouds for a moment, and the deep part of the eye is a shock. What's that weird power in her? In the early days of Wuzong, she also had the skills of self-protection and power doubling. How could she be killed in an instant? And Cloud Dance is still always cold and lazy standing. There is nothing unusual on the face, but the corner of the mouth is almost enchanting smile. Oh! Cloud Dance sneered, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became pale. So this is the strength of Mist Sungyan Castle. It's really vulnerable. At the end of the speech, he no longer looked at Jinyu's sharp eyes, nor at the two men's tongue-tied horror. The purple clothes of Cloud Dance swept by, a hurricane started, and instantly disappeared in the same place. That touch of figure swept down three people's abnormal look. In leaving the range that she may pursue, Yunwu just takes advantage of the elements. At the moment, her face was pale, and the corners of her lips were dry. The impact of the blow just now had a great impact on her. Although she tried to restrain it, the tumbling in her body was very obvious. But she was injured, so can't find, and the strength of those two people is not as good as her, more can't find. Otherwise, how could she let that woman go? Yunwu measures out the medicine that can regulate the internal breathing from the space, and treats them as round jujubes, swallowing them one by one. Half a sound later, the breath began to flow. She was satisfied with the rest of the pill back to space. But just as she was about to leave, a strange smell appeared behind her, and her back spine suddenly cooled. How can this smell be so familiar? Suddenly, as soon as she lifted her eyes, the bottom of her eyes suddenly became clear. It was the strange smell she felt when she was in the ancient town. When she didn't see anyone, she thought it was an illusion. It wasn't her illusion. Cloud Dance eyes quietly swept a touch of frost, and then turned to look behind. After seeing the man, a flash of surprise swept by. The man was wearing a silver robe and holding a big white fan. His facial features were very beautiful and elegant, and he had a certain extraordinary feeling. He looked very elegant and gentle. For eyes opposite, she saw in the depths of his eyes unfathomable. What's the matter? Cloud Dance micro frown, cold way. Clear Jade Breeze lips cape outline a touch of warm alcohol such as Jade smile way. My host wants to see a girl, don't know convenient? He is modest and polite, gentle in speech and manner, but with a trace of indifference that cannot be refused. And that smile, so at the moment the sun shining warm. I don't know why, but Yunwu felt a touch of cold. You've been watching me since I went to the ancient town. Do you think I'll go? Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly, and he felt that the man in front of him was more treacherous. It seems that the atmosphere in the next second of her words, the moment became a little abnormal, and passed away in the twinkling of an eye. I just ran into a girl by chance and left in order not to make you worry. It's just that my master heard from you and wanted to see you. His thin lips slightly hook, shallow smile appears in the delicate face, a pair of dense and hazy black eyes, friendly looking at the clouds, seems to be waiting for her answer. Cloud Dance hangs Mao to meditate for a long time, lift Mao to see to clear Jade Breeze, the corner of the mouth pulls out to put on a sneer, that I go with you. This person's strength is superior to her. I'm afraid it won't work. I'd better go with him to meet his master, ride a donkey to read the account book, and wait and see. Maybe he can make friends with his master. It's no good. There's gold in it. It's still time to oil the soles of your feet. King Yufeng seems very satisfied, the corner of his mouth smile spread a lot, please. Yunwu follows King Yufeng all the way to Qingyong City. As the saying goes, if you do something bad, you are always afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. As soon as he came to Qingyong City, Yunwu felt a little uneasy and secretly beat drums in his heart. Could his master be Liao Zongtian? After taking more than 10 pills from him, it is estimated that Liao Zongtian would like to tear her to pieces this time. She puts on a posture and is ready to leave. Just when she looks at the direction of the Thunder Gate suspiciously, King Yufeng takes her to gallop in the opposite direction. Yunwu took a deep breath, accepted the posture, sighed, and seemed to relax a lot. Has been flying in front of the clear jade wind, it seems to hear her sigh, silent show a smile. Soon they arrived at their destination. At the moment of seeing the name of the destination, Yunwu was puzzled, then meditated, and finally surprised. Sangyun Castle. Looking at the familiar name, Yunwu's eyes were surprised, and several black lines on his forehead suddenly condensed. It's really a narrow road. King Yufeng looks at Yunwu's ugly face, and her unfathomable eyes pass by. Then she says with a smile, "Please come in." Cloud Dance micro-frown jaw head, can only harden the scalp into the Cangyun fort. She could almost imagine that Jin Yuyan was going to kill her with a knife when she saw her as soon as I entered Cangyun Castle. Facing is a corridor surrounded by vines. On both sides of the corridor is the secluded lake water, in which the lotus leaves are floating and the lotus is bright. Then there is the courtyard-style hall, which is made of gilt and has 2 floors. It looks very luxurious and domineering. She followed King Yufeng, and after a while, she went into the living room on the left. Maybe it's because there is an old pine tree in the living room. The living room is a little dark. Occasionally, a meter of sunshine shining through the spots of the pine tree is enough to warm the whole living room. "Master, she's here." King Yufeng walks into a dark corner and leans slightly. "Yes?" "I'll go and have a look." "Go down and do your business." A low husky voice, like a frosted voice, gently spread to Yunwu's ears. Cloud Dance eyebrows slightly pick, mouth raised a smile. Listening to the voice and attitude, it doesn't look like a soul killer. Yes. King Yufeng's figure came out soon. However, when she passed by Yunwu, she caught a smile and deep eyes, then turned around and left. Cloud Dance micro-frown, according to a glance at the figure of King Yufeng, a trace of cold light quickly across. The next second, a shadow of great pressure appeared in front of Yunwu. Cloud Dance suddenly looks back and stares at that person's eyes. The man looked about 40 years old. His skin was dark and his face was full of vicissitudes. The black beard around his lips made him look decadent, but he couldn't hide his own momentum and toughness. "You are Cloud Dance?" Jean Kong Yen looks at Cloud Dance, that face, slightly a dejected, then stir up a touch of vicissitudes of life smile to ask away. Although he knew that she was Yunwu, he still wanted to hear her confirm it. Seems to be to let his heart that silk desire, can be more profound. "Yes." Cloud Dance suspicions piao he for a long time, just indifferent response. His eyes that put on the excited and surging color of joy, let her misty, don't understand exactly what meaning. "It's like that." Hearing the answer of Yunwu, he looked at Yunwu for a long time, and his eyes leaped out a ray of light and murmured to himself. Like who? Is it her?" Cloud Dance hangs Mao to conjecture, the mood inside Iground is quite complex, lift Mao Wei subsequently, "Do you know her?" "It's more than knowing." Jean Kong Yen grins bitterly and turns his back to Cloud Dance. It seems that he hears the funny question. They don't just know each other. Cloud Dance slightly with doubt light eyes looked at Jean Kong Yen, feeling chin thinking. After a long time, Cloud Dance just clears slightly jaw head, the corner of the mouth across a trace of drama cruel smile. Originally, there were some men who were also strong and powerful. How could they be so sad? Now I finally understand. It seems that her mother is really good at attracting bees and butterflies. When she said this, she didn't feel a trace of guilt and blush. "What can I do for you?" Cloud Dance eyebrow tip tiny pick, wriggle the corner of the mouth way. Knowing that he is just a man trapped in love, Yunwu's arrogance towards him is slightly reduced. If he just wants to meet his old lover's daughter, now that he has met her, she should go. If you wait for Jinyu to come back, the lightest consequence is that she will be followed. The worst result is that you can fight when you meet her, right? It's still a little early to deal with her. However, one day, she must clean her up. Let her know, covet her man, is unforgivable death. Jin Kong Yen turned around again, and his melancholy eyes moved to the clouds. How can you come to the upper boundary? This is not for you. The cloud dances to smell speech, the facial expression instant ugliness sinks, in the heart can't help but shout, still isn't your that precious daughter to captivate me, I'd like to leave, but a lot of people and things don't allow me to leave, do they? Cloud Dance mouth pulled out a smile, helpless sigh. She always wanted to find out about the destruction of the witch clan. So easy to come to the upper bound, how could she miss this opportunity? However, there seem to be many people who want to deal with her, so she must always be vigilant. What's more, there's an old man of evil race, and there's one more thing she needs to investigate. I can't help it. Then I'll uncover everything and let it come to the surface. I'll be at ease then. Jin Kong Yen Mei heart low, thick eyebrows straight up, words between full of cold momentum. Don't worry about it. I'll find out. Cloud Dance in different way. I always believe that you can. Your mother is still alive and is imprisoned in the Beast Gate. That's all I can tell you. I believe you will have your own choice and judgment. Jin Kong Yen language finished, Cloud Dance suddenly a zheng, in the heart of that vague idea, now really should be proved. The Beast Gate is still there in this way, the Beast Gate and Moibing in the human world are just chess pieces. Her eyes were cold and creepy, and the sharp breath around her was very obvious. In a flash, she said, have you always sent someone to watch me? Jean Kang's frowning brows slightly stretched out, and she said with a smile, I can't say that. I've just been waiting wait for you to save your mother. Hearing his words, the cloud dances and the willow eyebrows coagulate in an instant. Waiting for her. If she hadn't crossed the body, the original cloud dance would have died. He said it as if he had predicted that she would come to the upper bound. However, this has confirmed one thing, that is, he has been monitoring her. Cloud Dance can't help but flash a trace of displeasure and anger. With the strength of his subordinates, if you want to monitor her, I'm afraid she really can't find out. It's just that I'm disgusted to think that her every move has been monitored. Suddenly, she suddenly thought of Qing Yufeng's look in her eyes, and a thought crossed her mind. I don't think so. It's him who's been watching her all the time, right? Is it Qing Yufeng? Cloud dancing willow eyebrows arc charming, but polar with a trace of displeasure. Jin Kongyan did not answer but laughed, which can be regarded as an indirect answer to Yunwu's question. Cloud Dance's eyes were cold, and the cold radiance of her tight lips was more obvious. Suddenly, she turned away and attacked with burning anger. He has been busy with other things. He should have 10 days and a half months to watch you for a while. Smell speech, Cloud Dance, footsteps slightly a meal. But soon, Yunwu still jumped in the air and disappeared in Kangyunbao. Dad, I'm back. A touch of heroic arrogant voice, in the cloud left the same second, suddenly sounded. Cloud Dance calls out Jinling, flying all the way in the sky, with little worry emerging between the eyebrows. Master, let me know if I can help you. Jinling feels the indifference of Yunwu. She is deeper than usual. Then she can understand that she must have met something difficult. Cloud Dance takes back the emotion of thinking, the corner of the mouth slightly a yang, lie on the body of the gold spirit, still gold spirit is good. Hearing this, Jinling's eyes were shining. Although she was trying to cover up, her eyes suddenly became very sad and helpless when she heard the words under Cloud Dance. You can sit, you can lie down, and you can use it at any time without spending money. Yunwu lies on Jinling's back, listening to the wind whistling in his ears. After a while, she fell asleep. When she opened her eyes again, it was 10 minutes past noon. Today's scorching sun is unusually hot, Cloud Dance is burned by the sunlight, no sleepiness, open the eyes, touch the strong light, frown and turn a body. The next second, the bleary eyes suddenly lit up, there is no state of confusion. The dragon tornado in my mind suddenly flashed a golden abnormal light. This abnormal phenomenon is the same as the last one near Jinling nest. Is there a tornado fragment nearby? Star I fundus, a touch of fine on looming. Jinling, drop the sedan chair. Jinling landed directly under him. It was a dense jungle with shrubs, vines and weeds. It looked very strange as an ancient primitive jungle. Cloud Dance looked out at the jungle and frowned slightly. Within the line of sight, you can hardly see the normal line of sight of 10 meters. It's complicated and confusing, however, we haven't found a complete map of the summoning temple. We still need a complete tornado to get the specific location of the map. It's a must. The wind element attacks the body, and suddenly a touch of green phantom attacks. The smell of vegetation then rose, forming a cluster of whirlpool, sharp as a blade, attacking all obstacles in front, walking to the ground. In a short time, the wind element has swept into the jungle. Finally, Cloud Dance vaguely saw a raised place surrounded by vines in the front, and raised a smile at the corner of his mouth to urge the wind element to roll over faster. After reaching the abrupt place, the clouds gathered up the elements of wind and wood, half squinted at the place surrounded by vines, and frowned slightly. It's a cave, but it's round. It's a minaret. It doesn't look like Cloud Dance nods slightly, it's like a grave. The tornado in my mind is once again shining with gold, clouds dancing, and a perfect radiant on my lips. This is it. It's just when she took the first step. All of a sudden, the brush in front of a black shadow, that fast she did not capture what it is, just to see a touch of things such as ink instantly disappeared. In the next second, the chill of Yunwu's eyes was lifted, the abnormal golden light of the dragon in his mind gradually weakened, and finally completely disappeared. The fragments of the tornado were taken away by the shadow. Just now the star mouse suddenly cools like ice, Senyu's completely can't see the margin. You want to run away when you get something? Daydreaming. In an instant, the green wind element phantom brush left, followed the direction of the black shadow disappeared, wood element was driven by her manic, the whole quiet forest, suddenly roaring restless, all the way. After chasing out of the jungle, she arrived at a forest. The wind and wood elements disappeared in an instant. The cloud danced and her cold eyes glanced around. Only then did she find that she had lost someone. The fragments of the tornado in front of my eyes flew like this, and the chill of the cloud dancing eyes stayed for a long time. As she walked, she looked around to see if she could find any clues. All the way down, she found that there was no abnormality. It seemed that no one had come to the whole forest except her. Is she chasing in the wrong direction? Cloud Dance slightly frowned. Impossible, she clearly see that wipe shadow is disappear hide in this direction. She thought for a moment and raised her eyes slightly. Ready to leave, but suddenly saw less than 5 meters away from her in front of a man wearing a blue coarse cloth robe, sitting on the ground, leaning against the tree trunk. I do not know whether it is a nap or what. Yunwu was surprised. The distance was no more than 5 meters. She didn't feel his presence at all. Not only did he not feel his strength, but also his breathing, abnormality, taste and even a little breath. The color of horror passed quietly. Who was he? Suddenly, the man leaning on the tree trunk seemed to have a change. After a while, he finally opened his eyes. Under the cover of the blue hat fight, Yunwu vaguely saw that it was a pair of extremely evil red eyes, which were very strange under the gray light of the hat fight. For eyes opposite, are looking at, the breeze seems to be a lot of fierce in that moment. Who are you? It was the red-eyed man who broke the silence first. Cloud Dance half squints mouse son, ponder a moment way, inadvertently pass by here. The man slightly jaw head, stand up, the corner of the mouth raised a touch of almost strange smile. My name is Xiaomu, you? The cloud dances tightly to see you forehead, the eye ground puts on a dark on to brush past, between them need to know each other's name. Cloud Dance. Out of politeness, she spoke indifferently and got up to leave. Xiao Mu's smile deepened a little and kept up with the pace of Cloud Dance. Since seeing is fate, it's better to make a friend. Cloud Dance did not answer, still walking. Fundus' displeasure has appeared. I just saw a man passing by here. He wanted to be his friend, but he was a man. Suddenly, Yunwu stopped, looked back at Xiaomu, looked at him suspiciously for a long time, slightly picked eyebrows and said, "Where has he gone?" Xiaomu shrugged, red eyes in the green robe under the cover of a hidden anao, speechless strange. I left long ago. The Cloud dances a facial expression to gather, tiny Hang Mao Sun Wei, that don't follow me. I want to be friends with you. Xiaomu does not give up to dance with the clouds. Yunwu's face was dark, and the elements of wind were wrapped in his body and disappeared in front of Xiaomu's eyes. There was only a hurricane left, which set off Xiaomu's blue robe and his handsome and strange facial features. In addition to a pair of red eyes like blood demons, the other facial features on his face are almost as white as pure jade, which seems to melt in the sunshine. Looking at the disappearing direction of Cloud Dance, the strange radiance of his mouth rises again. I will let you catch up with me again. After abandoning Xiaomu, Yunwu takes in the elements of wind and glances at his back coldly. The fright and coldness of his eyes can't be hidden for a long time. This person is too strange, so close to him, she didn't even feel his breath. At the moment of passing by him, she paid special attention to his breath. Strangely, he had no normal breath and heartbeat, as if he were just a living body. Who the hell is he? And his appearance, really just a coincidence. She always has a feeling that this person's mouth is a lie, the real purpose is to wait for her to appear. There are a lot of people to deal with now. It's better to stay away from these dangerous bodies who don't know what their purpose is. Alas. Cloud Dance sighs, a trace of annoyance passes through the eyes. I'm really upset that the tornado is gone. Let her catch the person who took the tornado and make a pot of human flesh. Yunwu walked on the street, wondering if it was time to go back. Now the mainland of China may have become noisy. I don't know what happened to the dragon. But even if she went back, there was still a worry in her heart, that the border was certainly not so easy to pass, and it must take some instructions to get in and out. Thinking for the moment, a touch of depression passed through her eyes. If I had known, I would have asked the old man in the border. He must have known, but after a long time, she would not go to the internet bar. Jinyu thought she would climb the cliff. How could the man in black not send someone to guard the cliff? To go is to fall into the trap. After thinking about it, she finally decided to sneak into Tsungyun Castle and ask the infatuated man. Maybe the spoony man would lend his daughter something by means of border. The night is hazy, like a gauze cage covering the whole Qingyong city. A delicate figure in black appeared and walked quietly in the dark. Saw. In the dark, outside the moving figure, there was a few more sounds. Then, the unusual atmosphere will diffuse around the Cloud Dance. The Cloud Dancing figure shakes and hides in a corner. In the corner, where the cold moonlight can't shine, she is completely integrated with that corner. This scene, however, was found by the black figure living on the roof of a tavern. The man looked at the corner where the clouds disappeared, his eyes like black hole. Cloud Dance touches so vision, secretly cry not good, unexpectedly is the man who chases her in the cell. Cloud Dance is a spiritual exploration of the surrounding. The next second, the star eyes cold, Liao Zongtian actually sent more than 10 people to chase her. Plus a man in black who can't figure out his strength. Do you want to be so cruel? Didn't you just take a dozen pills that didn't know what they were doing? As for those who are so inspiring. But to tell you the truth, is the strength of this Thundergate really so strong? The people who are sent casually are all the strength of Wuzuan. A sect living in such a prosperous place must not have that strength. It seems that behind the gate, there must be some forces supporting it. Cloud Dance in the brain suddenly comes up with an idea, can be 10,000 Beast Gate. The next second, strong force such as the wind roll, she had no time to think more, distorted figure, the hand of the ancient sword suddenly appeared, straight jumped to a banyan tree. The star eyes are as clear as the moonlight, emitting a cold indifference. The black night clothes are wrapped with exquisite body, with a trace of inviolable enchanting and domineering. In the hand and she particularly abrupt gu-wu big knife, but at the moment so fusion. Keep it alive. After the silence, a voice of real death came out. In a flash, more than a dozen of Wuzuan's early strong strength came together. As soon as the power came out, Yunwu felt the pressure of suffocation. Just a second before a dozen people came to her, she quickly turned around and rubbed away. Oh, want to run? Do you think you can run away? Indistinct Cloud Dance seemed to hear his words, the corner of the mouth slightly raised, purple pupil eyes swept out a touch of strange color. She took out a ruddy and transparent thing in the space and put it into her mouth. Her neck suddenly rose and fell in an instant. She swallowed the fire 6-grade yuan pill that the old man gave her. Although the old man said, don't eat it until you have to, but now you have to. It's important to save your life first. God bless you, don't break through at the critical moment of your life behind the fierce chase, the hurricane roaring in the ear, a huge breath of power shrouded in the hazy night. On the next side, Yunwu felt a cold touch behind him, and his back was cold. He turned around and rolled. Stab. The sound of clothes being cut. Almost at the same second, the hand behind her had cut the clothes behind her. Yunwu was slightly surprised. Under the clear light of the moon, she saw a hand. An iron hand. The woman in black in the distance is like a devil now. Her whole body is like burning. It's transparent and bright. It's full of beautiful haze. Especially her eyes are burning with fire. The man was surprised. How could it be so strange, are you aware? Cloud Dance mouth light pick sneer, step by step toward the man. She said that when she was strong enough to fight him, she must be good and teach him a lesson. It's now. The man stood up, but did not find the stiffness of the body at the moment, the embarrassed body, seems to be the same as his mood now. The next second, the man jumped in the air and drew up a black python. Suddenly, the night sky changed color and became dark. He roared at the Cloud Dance. The Cloud dances around the corner of the mouth, and the bright scarlet eyes are burning. In a moment, a giant fire unicorn comes out of the body. As soon as the unicorn comes out, it suddenly lights up half of the sky, while the nearby pine trees are all burning and seem to be drying up. More than a dozen people in black who had been standing on one side were almost stunned to see this scene. Is this woman the devil? How could it burn all over? Her strength is above the left Dharma protector. What happened to that giant unicorn? Isn't that woman's analogy? How does it look like a flesh and blood reality? Watching the Cloud Dance, all kinds of horror. In the next second, Kirin burst out a flash of magma flame, directly incinerating the black dragon in the night. The flame was so powerful that it penetrated the black dragon and directly lifted it into the air. Bang! In the night, a loud noise rang out. The flame tore the night apart and spread directly. The night was burned thoroughly and could not recover its original color for a long time. The whole Qingyong city seems to be busy at this moment. You. The man looked at the Cloud Dance, and his eyes were surprised. He couldn't say what he wanted to say. Cloud Dance is raising demon like bloodthirsty luster, walking like lotus, walking slowly towards the man, seems to want to tell him, wait to die feeling good? Wait a minute. Just when Yunwu was going to give him a fatal blow, he suddenly yelled in his voice, which surprised Yunwu, but she stopped first to see what he wanted to say. If this person can be used by her, everything she wants to know will be clear. Any last words? Cloud Dance coldly glances at him, and the burning pupil reflects the shadow of that person, like a fantasy. Stay away from me first. Cloud Dance jumps back a few steps, there is a trace of displeasure between the eyebrows and eyes, and says coldly, something to say. What a fart, let's exchange one condition. I can tell you what you want to know. How about you tell me where to find Kylan fruit? The man raised his eyebrows and asked the meaning of Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance gathers the sneer of the corner of the mouth, cool lips lightly open, should you take two conditions to change me a condition? The man's face suddenly sank. How could he not understand her? He said in silence for a long time, okay, just two conditions for you. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, cool lip side corner slightly hook up, to this transaction seems very satisfied. Is Liao Zongtian a member of the beast sect? Yes. Cloud Dance flame pupil eye cold on for a moment, that burning flame condensation for a moment, clear slightly jaw head. Where is the old nest of the beast gate? Wang Yunfeng. Is that the answer? I'm talking about the exact location. Cloud Dance coldly glances at him, indifferent way. Now Wang Yunfeng is hollow. The man seemed very helpless and said one more sentence. It turns out that the old nest of the 10,000 Beast Gate is a mountain peak. Ah, the clouds are dancing, and the corners of the mouth are rippling. It seems that as long as you go to the 10,000 Beast Gate, you will get a lot of harvest. Suddenly, the Cloud Dance willow eyebrow is not easy to detect slightly a CU, the eye bottom a put on the worried look to pass by, turn round to want to leave. You haven't told me where the Kylan fruit is. The man roared at the back of the Cloud Dance, with a clear anger between the words. As long as you jump off the cliff, you can see the Kylan fruit tree. As for whether you can get it, it's up to you. Cloud Dance micro glanced at the back, a swept body disappeared in the clear on night. But I advise you not to go. After the Cloud Dance leaves, the whole space returns to the original temperature, and the strong burning feeling seems to be hidden in the night. Hearing her words, man Feng Mei see you, I ground emotion complex, iron hand grasp of rub 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 sound. The next second, the man's eyes cold as prison, iron hand a horizontal, instant a touch of cold, blood-dyed iron hand in this time. You. More than a dozen people who were completely unprepared fell to the ground in an instant, with blood splashing and ferocious pain. Only the dead don't talk about tonight. The man smiles like Poppy, looking at the figure disappearing in the night, blooming a cold radiance. The night is quiet and strange. In the disordered tree line, a hurricane shakes, a purple figure suddenly appears, as soon as it appears, the whole person faints to death on the ground. Her face ruddy, breathing evenly, not like what hurt, but like in the absorption of what. At this time, a man in a blue robe came slowly, looking at the woman lying on the scorched leaves, showing a strange smile. Xiaomu came to Yunwu and looked at Yunwu, who was covered with rain, steam and fog. He shook his head slightly. I didn't expect you to be so talented. His lips angle uncanny of hook, dark red Mao inside approbation instantaneous flit. The highest level of the Millennium Golden Unicorn fruit is to absorb it into the whole body and refine the Fire Unicorn. Then the Numenon and the Fire Unicorn will depend on each other for survival, and the other will become stronger as their ability increases. You should know that Fire Kirin's ability is improving very fast. Everything related to fire elements can be absorbed and transformed into its own power. This Fire Unicorn is a real Fire Unicorn, but it can hide in people's body in the form of a fire. When it feels that its residence is in danger, it will rush out and turn into Numenon to resolve the danger. That is to say, once someone has completely absorbed the golden Kylan fruit, the Fire Kylan will appear, and its residence is the person's inner abdomen. You've eaten the only golden Kylan fruit. Is that old man crazy? Xiaomu squatted on the ground, looking at the rosy face of Cloud Dancing, his lips were a little thin and cool. Suddenly, a white crystal appeared in Xiaomu's palm. It was as bright and clear as his face, flashing the light that pierced all the darkness. In the next second, Xiaomu's hand buckled, and the crystal narrowed to the size of a little finger. The palm was placed on Yunwoo's forehead. After a strange force appeared, a diamond mark appeared on her forehead, which disappeared in a short time. I put my trust on you and him, and I must leave at ease. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept by, torn leaves floating high. A piece of fallen leaves suddenly turned, crackled on Yunwoo's face, just woke her up. Well. Yunwoo frowned in pain and finally got up on the ground. Just stood up, saw Xiaomu standing on the ground, suddenly cold eyes, how are you here? Xiaomu mouthed slightly yang smile, because I want to take you to see a person you want to see. Yunwoo looked at the face covered by the green robe. For some reason, there was always a strange and gloomy feeling in her heart. She was especially laughed by him. Although she was pure, it was too strange. I have no one I want to see. Cloud Dance coldly takes back the vision, gets up to leave decidedly. Are you sure? Don't you want to see him, too? Cloud Dance suddenly stops, willow eyebrows slightly twist, cold glance to behind Xiao Wood, cold way, who is he? Xiaomu looked at the Cloud Dance with a smile and shrugged, it's up to you whether you want to go or not, but he can't wait for you too long. Cloud Dance's eyes are sharp, passing a trace of ice on, staring at Xiaomu, pondering for a long time, and finally turned to Xiaomu, who is he? He's him. Who else? Xiaomu looks at Cloud Dance doubtfully. Is what he says not clear enough? Lead the way. The cold voice condensed the whole forest in an instant. As soon as Xiaomu's white teeth were exposed, his red eyes rolled strangely, and he walked towards his destination with Cloud Dance. The sky is dense and hazy, a touch of pale has appeared, two figures are walking slowly. Can you hurry up? Cloud Dance follows behind Xiaomu, just like a leisurely walk in the courtyard. At this speed, can we get to the place? Xiaomu suddenly stopped and looked back at Yunwoo, this is my fastest speed. The fastest speed? Will Linkhong Royal Travel meet? No matter how bad it is, I won't run in the air. You don't know martial arts? Cloud Dance tiny pick eyebrow, the eye ground is full of ice frost displeased expression. Xiaomu sincerely shook his head, some lost way, will not. Yunwoo looks at him with red eyes and dim look. It doesn't look like he's lying, but does he really know how to use martial arts? The Cloud dances suspiciously. Since the moment I saw him, this man was too strange. Last time he appeared in front of her, this time he still appeared in front of her. The last time she searched for the place where the tornado was, she came back half an hour in the air. If at his speed, she couldn't come in 2 days, how could she come in 1 night? Say he doesn't know martial arts. How can you believe that? However, time is pressing. Yunwoo has been worried about whether he is Dragon Qingxia, because the last time she heard the conversation between the man and the old man in the iron prison, she seems to have found the trace of the young master of the evil family. Although we can't be sure that the young master of the evil family is Dragon Qingxia. Suddenly, a hurricane suddenly propped up, suddenly wind residual cloud volume, 2 figures roared past majestically. Wow, I haven't felt that for a long time. It's really much faster. Xiaomu stands in the element of wind, looking at the hazy sight in front of him, exclaiming with joy. Yunwoo, indifferent to a face, did not pay attention to him, between the eyebrows is even cold eyes, at the moment of touching his body, Yunwoo's body is almost rigid, his body is like a piece of jade. His hand is completely cold and smooth. He has no life activity at all. Who on earth is he? Cloud Dance seems to be able to feel that her hands are ice all the way. I don't know whether it is because of his cold body or his inexplicable strange body. She pondered for a long time and tried to ask him who he was, but she finally held back. If you know that he won't answer the question, don't ask for nothing. Soon, under the guidance of Xiaomu, they arrived at their destination. At the moment of arriving at the destination again, Yunwoo's eyes narrowed slightly, looking at the peak in front of him, and there was a trace of edge in his eyes. Beast Gate. Beast Gate on Wangyun Mountain. The mountain peak is only 2 meters high, but it is more than 100 meters long. All around the mountain peak are protected by spiritual masks. These spiritual masks give him the same feeling as those of the old man who was imprisoned in the ancient town. Is the old man imprisoned by the beast men? If it is, the power of these power masks is obviously stronger. With her current strength, there is no way to break it. Yunwoo stayed in the corner of the mountain, looking at the beast gate not far away. His eyes were startled. Here's the man you're talking about. Cloud Dance glanced at Xiaomu's cold way. Xiaomu's slightly jaw-head, a pair of strange red eyes are not instant looking at the beast door, rare static. Cloud Dance tightly purses lips cape, slightly frown, is Long Qing evil really captured by 10,000 beast door? The strength of the people in the above world, if you find him, it's no surprise that you can catch him. But with the strength of Dragon's evil body, even if she is imprisoned, she can be informed why she doesn't feel at all. Xiaomu took back his eyes and looked at the Cloud Dance with a smile. Go, it's too late if you don't go. Can this power mask be opened? A touch of worry passed in Cloud Dance's eyes. It's best to open nature. If you can't open it, you will scare the snake. Everything will be difficult at that time. Just go and have a try. Xiaomu said that the wind is light and the clouds are light. Cloud Dance coldly glanced at Xiaomu, who was standing and talking without backache, and then half hung his eyes. The complex emotions in his eyes changed rapidly. If it's the dragon who is caught, no matter what the result is, it's worth going this time. If it's not the dragon, then this time Yunwoo sighs silently. She seems helpless. Does she want to be caught? Is it Dragon Qingxie or not? Well, what she doesn't want to be caught is Dragon Qingxie. She'll go this time. After she goes in, whoever wants her life, she'll give her life first. Suddenly, a black figure passed by, disappeared in the original place, and with unstoppable speed, sneaked into the beast gate. Xiaomu looks at the Cloud dancing in, and the strange smile at the corner of his mouth reappears. Good luck. Yunwoo, who just sneaked into the gate of 10,000 beasts, soon hid himself. Yu Guangwei glanced at the magic mask outside the gate of 10,000 beasts, and his eyes were cold. When she just approached the power mask, she didn't use force to break it. To be exact, when she didn't have that idea, she felt that the power mask seemed to suck her in with a strong suction. She slightly frowned, and a cold light flashed over her eyes. It was obvious that this matter had something to do with Xiaomu. Forget it. I'm in anyway. It's important to get down to business first. Yunwoo glanced around. Except for a few oil lamps, there was a lot of darkness in the whole beast gate. The darkness extended all the time, and the end of the beast gate could not be seen. In a short time, they would go in and out, as if they were on an inspection tour. Yunwoo found out the patrol rules of those people, and then he dodged into it. The two people on the tour only felt a gust of wind passing by. They looked at each other in disbelief. After looking around, they found nothing, which dispelled their doubts. Cloud Dance glances at the back of the two people leaving in the dark, with a sneer on the corner of her mouth, and then continues to go deep. Then I found out that the beast gate was really big, and the dark smell had been around for a long time, but I didn't see the end. Yunwoo walks into a dark and cool place, looks around and finds that this is the cell of the beast gate, where almost all the prisoners are above the great martial arts master. Cloud Dance lips cape slightly a pick, cold on hook up, catch these people, a lot of credit is ink night ice. It turns out that Mo Yebing is really just a chess piece of the beast sect in the human world. Every chess piece is so arrogant. She really wants to see the strength and arrogance of the beast sect. But what do these people have to do with the beast gate? How can so many people be imprisoned? There are 5 or 6 people in each cell. Their strength is around Wusheng, and the worst one is no less than the great martial arts master. They don't know whether they have been negotiated or controlled. Everyone is meditating steadily, and no one finds her. Could her mother be here? Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrow, I ground instant complex, was about to go elsewhere to have a look, by the way to look for, but was a cold voice to stop the pace. Young lord, I advise you to be honest, or the lord will be angry, and it will do no good to anyone. This voice a little familiar. Ever since you arrested me, I've been here in peace. Is there anything else he's not satisfied with? A wild voice came out of the dark cell, as if with a mocking smile. Shangguan. Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly, and a touch of cold silver passed by. Listen to that man, just call him Little Lord. Is he the Little Lord of the Beast Gate? You should know that the Patriarch didn't imprison you for peace. Don't try to challenge our bottom line. Thin cool voice, almost and this dark bone chilling into one. It's him. The man who robbed Shangguan, Qingma. Cloud Dance Mao Guang suddenly a cold, no wonder he said since met to take together, now want to come, if he took her by the way at that time, it must be a great achievement. Haha, did I hear a joke? Call me Little Lord, call myself subordinate, and ask me not to challenge your bottom line? Do you really regard me as a little master? Shangguan suddenly looked up to the sky with a long smile, which was more bitter and helpless. Little Lord, I just want you to understand that you are always against the Beast Gate, and Vice Lord is not easy to do either. The response to Qingma is a long silence. Cloud Dance slightly frown, eye ground contemplation flits by, came again a deputy patriarch. What does Shangguan do to the deputy suzerain? I'm tired. You can go away. After a long time, Shangguan's lazy voice sounded again. Qingma's face sank, looking at the Shangguan who closed his eyes tightly, the cold breath spread, the sleeves brushed, had disappeared in the cell. Cloud Dance see Qingma leave, lip smile appears, a touch of mirage swept out, instant already appeared in the cell. Have you finished yet? The upper official low roars turn round, lift mouse and cold of stare a person. At the moment of seeing the Cloud Dance, the eyes changed from cold to surprise, from surprise to joy, and finally to ecstasy. Little Five? An earth-shaking roar, slamming concussion in the whole cell, constantly rebounding, just like Shangguan now that excited heart general, one up and one down back and forth. I'm afraid other people won't hear me, right? Cloud Dance micro cu willow eyebrow of white he one eye, hurriedly with strength see ear sealed up. Shangguan didn't like it. He raised an uninhibited smile at the corner of his mouth. How can you be here? Cloud Dance mouth slightly yawned, also waved a smile, to save you, believe it or not. I don't believe it. Shangguan turned his lips suspiciously, and his eyes were full of doubts. You must have come for something else. Shunxiao met me, so he came to have a look. Cloud Dance looks at him 12 an attitude firm, a trace of disbelief appearance, the facial expression brush of a black, in his eyes, she really so cold-blooded ruthless. She looked at Shangguan, who was bound by chains, and sneered at him. She really deserves to be the little master of the Beast Gate, and her treatment is better than that of ordinary people. Shangguan smelled speech, uninhibited eyes swept a little surprised, lift eyes to see Cloud Dance, you all know? Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, squint at him one eye, you're very afraid of people to know. Oh, because I don't think it's a glorious thing to be the young master of the Beast Gate. Shangguan sneered, and his mouth was full of disdain. Cloud Dance seems to understand his words, slightly jaw head, drooping eyes pondered for a moment, said, let's go together. After hearing her words, Shangguan froze for a moment, and looked at Yunwu, aren't you looking for someone? It's looking for someone, but I don't mind taking one more. Shangguan was silent for a long time, and finally sighed, forget it, you'd better take the person you want to take away first. Although I'm not free here, no one dares to do anything to me. You are different from the person you want to find. Have you seen anyone arrested these days, such as Long Qingxie? Cloud Dance slightly frown, eyes cold. Dragon poor evil? Shangguan's uninhibited eyes swept over a touch of surprise, and then shook his head, I haven't seen it, but what does the Beast Gate do to catch him? I don't know. It's just speculation. Cloud Dance cold hum a smile and more than a hint of danger. Shangguan Wei nodded, pondered for a long time, and then said, with my understanding of the 10,000 beasts, they are only interested in you. As for the identity and value of the dragon, I don't think it's on the list of the 10,000 beasts. Cloud Dance's eyes are deep. What does Xiao Mu mean by the person she wants to see? Suddenly, a powerful force rose, and the red fire blade rose, and the chain that bound Shangguan was cut off. Shangguan looked at the chain that had been cut off, and his lazy eyes were slightly surprised. This chain has a huge attachment. The more struggling, the stronger the bondage. He gave up and broke free, but she cut it 2 or 3 times. Her strength has risen again. Xiao Wu, why does God always take special care of you? Shangguan looked at the red eyes of Cloud Dancing, and the shock of the fundus of his eyes flashed by. Cloud Dance glanced at him one eye, the corner of the mouth coldly glanced. What else are you looking at? Do you want to stay here? The devil wants to stay in such a place. Shangguan leaped in the air, turned forward naturally, and the uninhibited light on his body was shining again. It's good to feel free, Xiao Wu. In order to give you my freedom, please let me know if you have anything in the future. Oh. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow, looking at Shangguan's smile, so generous. No, it's not. It's such an important thing. How can it be so generous? The Shangguan didn't mind that Yunwu was half joking and half joking. He just put out his hand to Yunwu and said, don't you go yet? Go. Cloud Dance doesn't care to catch Shangguan's hand. 2 people jump on the roof together. But just as he was about to leave, Cloud Dance was stunned. At this time, it was a dark and windy night. Yunwu took a look at the sky covered by dark clouds and said with a smile, it seems that you have left for the time being. It seems that your acquaintances have come. Acquaintances? Shangguan was just beginning to have doubts. But the next second, Shangguan also seemed to feel something, can't help but pursed his lips, look a little unhappy. What bad luck! Immediately, he heard an angry rebuke of discontent. Where else do you want to go this time, you villain? They turned around and looked at the middle-aged man dressed in Chinese clothes in front of him. They saw that his face was full of anger. However, when his eyes swept to Yunwu's face, he was obviously stunned for a moment, and then whispered, I didn't expect you to come too. Since you are here, don't leave. The man who came here is Shangguanli, the father of Shangguan, the deputy leader of the beast sect. However, his last sentence was obviously astonishing. Don't go. He recognized Yunwu. Father Shangguan gritted his teeth and looked complicated in his eyes. I'll go back with you and let Xiaowu go. Oh, you want to go back with me, and this woman must not go. Shangguan said in a cold voice that a strange light had been kindled in his hands. As soon as his feet were shocked, the roof of the 3 people's feet trembled. Shangguan jumped down with Yunwu, and the earth seemed still shaking. Rebellious son, I asked you for the last time, will you go back? Shangguanli's eyes stare at the clouds darkly. In the face of his father's similar threat, Shangguan turned black and scorned to sneer. If you like, leave the position of the patriarch to others. I don't want it. Son of a bitch. Shangguanli roared angrily. However, as soon as the roar of Shangguanli came down, 2 cracks appeared on the earth. It seemed that something dark was about to move. Just wait for Shangguanli's order, and you will rush out. For this, Cloud Dance naturally has a sense. If there is anything to regret, I have already chosen it. Good. Cloud Dance is not talking about anything. When I turn my hand, a blue light flashed out in an instant, and an ice sword suddenly condensed out. Shangguan took the ice sword condensed by Cloud Dance in his hand, got cold and fresh, dodged the huge poo claw and reached the top of the troll lizard's head, then he didn't hesitate to send his force down. When the blade pierced the troll lizard's hard skin, it went in most of the way because of the falling gravity. At the same time, the ice sword was broken because it couldn't bear the huge pressure. Although this blow did not kill the troll lizard, it also added a lot of damage. Hiss. But the troll lizard writhes violently because of pain. And Shangguan, who was standing on his back, still had some weak bodies thrown out under the big twist. He even stepped back a few steps before he could barely stand firm, and his chest was unsteady. First, in front of the expressionless Shangguan calendar, a trace of worry finally flashed in his eyes. That's interesting. Cloud Dance flashed an intriguing smile in her eyes, formed a wind blade in her hand, and mercilessly cut the whole body of the troll lizard. Since she accidentally ate the Kylan fruit last time, her strength has improved a lot. Looking at the underground two seemingly ferocious, but actually tough inside the stubble of the warcraft, the abuse of the rolling. Shangguanli finally couldn't help but frown. He flew down and slapped mercilessly at Yunwu, who was avoiding the tail of the troll lizard. Cloud Dance pursed lips, dodged away, and looked at Shangguan, who had already rushed over with a gloomy face. Shangguanli turned around and kicked him out. Father and son are so ruthless. Cloud Dance said frivolous, but it is obvious that the Shangguan calendar just left a bit of strength. Father and son. However, because Shangguan's body has not recovered properly, he let him cover his chest for a long time. Well. You'd better go back with me, or don't blame me for being merciless. Shangguanli stares at Shangguan and shouts. Shangguan frowned, but he still said, I've already said that. You don't have to ask any more. Shangguan's obvious position finally made Shangguanli angry. Well, if you don't go back, I'll take her back. I'll see if you can go back then. As soon as Shangguan's words fall, he stares at Yunwu coldly. His fingers are moving slowly, ready to fight at any time. Haha, you can go as soon as you want. Isn't my girl very shameless? Cloud Dance sneers, in the hand congeals 3 wind blades to hit out, the body retreats. Is it? Shangguanli gave a cold smile and waved his robe to break up the wind blade. Then he rushed straight up. In a twinkling of an eye, he came to Yunwu and waved his hand again. Yunwu wanted to dodge, but he was half a beat slower. Seeing that the palm was about to hit, Yunwu quickly clenched his teeth and opened it with the help of force. His arm was still numb. Damn it! However, at this time, it is not suitable for them to come out. With a flash of inspiration, the Cloud Dance is denouncing in my heart. Hio, how long are you going to hold on? As soon as the words from the bottom of my heart fell, another attack with strong wind came in front of me. Cloud Dance, pupil contraction. But at this time, almost did not wait for Yunwu hand, chest a jet of black gas. Bang! A loud noise spread, the next move will be hard. I saw a mass of black fog, suddenly blocked between the two, but soon the black fog disappeared. Shangguanli's face sank. Under the afterwave, he was repulsed for a long distance. You've hidden a lot of good things. Shangguanli was a little surprised at the moment. Just now, he deliberately converged 3 points of strength, but it is still not what ordinary people can afford. He was so easily the thing created by Cloud Dance is coming. What a strong breath. Thank you very much. Cloud Dance barely stand firm, cold corner of the mouth. But he took a look at Shangguan's direction. Shangguan didn't know when, but he was entangled by the 2 troll lizards. It seems that she can only rely on herself now. Just a few moves has been enough to let Cloud Dance fully find the gap between the 2 strength. There is no turning back now, can only resist. I'd like to see how much you haven't done yet. At the end of the speech, Shangguanli's strong breath suddenly attacked. Cloud Dance's eyes were cold, and it was not hidden. The ancient sword came out of the sky, and the black fire attacked and ran away quickly. Clang, clang. Strong breath confluence, splashed countless sparks. It's just that the gap in strength is a gap in the end. Until after a few moves, Yunwu gradually lost, and was hit in the chest with a flying palm. And the black AO in the Chaos Hall, his face changed, and he seemed to be unprepared, but he also quickly brushed his hand, and the strong black fog came out. Bang! Two strong forces intersect, aftershock. This block, although the cloud dance blocked to most of the strength. But at this time all cloud dance, but the facial expression suddenly big change, poof. A gush of blood. The next second, Yunwoo's face was pale and her feet were soft. After kneeling on the ground, she saw a strange red light shining in her star eyes. And also at that moment, a red light passed by. Roar. A strange animal roar suddenly raised. At the same time, a fire-like unicorn suddenly appeared, and a huge fire-red body flashed out of Yunwoo's body. I saw that its tusks were ferocious, and it greedily devoured the body of Cloud Dance. The gradually reduced fire element, a pair of red eyes staring at Sheng Guanli, and a low roar in the mouth. Roar. The consciousness of Cloud Dance, at the same time that Hua Qilin flashed out of his body, went into a coma. Just like the previous general, the body seems to have been put a piece of red charcoal, but her whole body appears a layer of protective cover that can be seen vaguely. Like, in evolution Sheng Guanli saw this scene, his eyes flashed a look of consternation. The fire unicorn in her body? What's going on? And, this wench, unexpectedly at this time strength evolution? Forget it. Anyway, let's get rid of her first. Shengguan's eyes were cold, and the attack went away after the Shengguan solved the two entangled warcraft. He turned around and found that the situation was not good. He quickly stopped the warcraft before Shengguan attacked Yunwu. Rebellious son, do you want to help outsiders? Shengguanli abruptly stops the attack and stares at Shengguan angrily. Shengguan cold a face, towards Shengguan calendar angry stare one eye, cold voice way, she is my friend, you can't hurt her. Friends? Sheng Guanli sneered, that's just right. Without your so-called friends outside, you can accept your heart. As soon as the words came down, Sheng Guanli didn't hesitate at all and rushed over again. Sheng Guan quickly went up. After a few moves, Sheng Guan gritted his teeth to support him, but he was still defeated. Sheng Guanli grabbed him by the collar and threw him aside. Then Sheng Guanli turned to Cloud Dance. Above Yunwu's body, there is only Hua Qilin who is still devouring fire elements. But without the instruction of Cloud Dance, it just took a look at the nearby Shengguan calendar. Sheng Guanli chuckles in his heart and reaches out to catch Yunwu who is in a coma. However, Hua Qilin pushes him back 2 steps with a fireball. A low roar comes from his ear. Roar. Sheng Guanli then reflected that if he was too close, Hua Qilin would still turn over. When Sheng Guanli ponders, Hua Qilin, who was safe and sound, suddenly roars. Another fireball comes in his mouth, which forces Sheng Guanli to step back again and again, with a trace of haze on his face. It seems that we have to solve this problem first. Hua Qilin devours a few fire elements while spitting out fireballs. However, because he has not yet fully grown up, he soon loses his energy and reluctantly takes back Yunwu's body. Shengguan had a ferocious smile, and all kinds of attacks were gathering on his hands. The protective shield flashed and flashed. He saw that it was going to be broken, and there were cracks on it. Shengguan looked at him not far away, anxious, but unable to move. Dad, please let her go. I beg you. When she was just hit to fly, his father sealed his muscles and bones. For a while and a half, he couldn't do it even if he wanted to stand up. Cloud Dance, which is about to lose its energy shield protection, is still struggling in the abyss of evolution, unaware of the dangers of the outside world. Sheng Guanli's eyes flashed an excited look, and his hands worked harder. Bang bang. After a series of attacks, the energy shield finally couldn't hold. With a small crushing sound, a strong wind in Sheng Guanli's hand was too late to recover. Dad! Sheng Guan roared. But at this time, might have been the aftershock of bloody clouds, but suddenly disappeared in place. The strong wind hit the ground, leaving a pit. You little fellow, you are very provocative. A dragon in white appears on the fork of the tree, holding the cloud dance in a coma. He looks at the man below with a smile and says coldly, I'll take this little guy and your son first. If there's anything, I'll talk about it later. After all, the little guy needs a good rest now. The Lo added another sentence. The dragon's evil fingers caress the clouds and some dry lips. After a kiss, he lifts up the Shangguan who has not recovered and flies away. Shangguan's almanac is still in pursuit, but it is found that there is no trace. Thank you for your help. When the three fell to the ground, Shangguan also recovered a lot. When he saw the dragon's evil, he was not very surprised, so he expressed his thanks to the dragon. The dragon is inclined to evil, but he looks down at the cloud dance in his arms and purses his lips. You are not good, how should I punish you? Shangguan looks at the dragon and feels dejected in his heart. Now Yunwu is still in a coma. How can she? Well, it's just pretending to sleep. Why care? Before the words in Shangguan's heart were finished, Yunwu coughed awkwardly. Immediately, he opened his eyes and struggled from the dragon's evil arms. His eyes were misty, and his momentum also increased. It's a good time for me to improve my strength. Should I come back? Long Qingxie ignores Shangguan's strange expression and looks at Yunwu's eyes, which are tender and gloomy. This heart has the spirit to calculate or not. Cloud Dance flatters smile. At this time, she still felt tired. If she made this guy angry at this time, she would be taught a lesson and had no resistance. This answer is very successful to please the dragon. With a satisfied smile, Long Qingxie reached for Yunwu's cheek and said in a soft voice, I'll let you go this time. If I dare to take such a risk next time you're a little guy. You can stand it. Cloud Dance curled his mouth. No matter how evil the dragon was, he didn't plan to continue to care about it. He turned to the Shangguan who was in a trance and said, Where are you going now? Shangguan was silent for a while. He seemed to think of his father's behavior before. After a haze in his eyes, he said in a deep voice, How are you doing with me? Long Qingxie nodded, rare no objection. Cloud Dance originally nervous mood, also is finally relieved. Fortunately Long Qingxie this time did not recklessly jealous, otherwise the bad luck is his own. It's very late. Let's get out of here and find an inn to rest. Yunwu, whose strength has just been improved, feels a little tired. Although Hyo blocks most of her attack power, she still has unstable breath at this time. It's better to find a safe place to practice one night and recover a little. Well, let's go. Long Qingxie also knows that Yunwu's physical condition at this time is not suitable for walking around, so it's time to get down. The three rushed to the border. Yunwu suddenly thought that because she was the blood of the witch family, she was able to enter and leave the border freely. Shangguan was the son of the vice lord of the Beast Gate, and naturally he went in and out of his own gate. But how did Long Qingxie get in? Cloud Dance is confused. In the front of the dragon, just under the two people's gaze, stretched out his hand to tear a hole in the border, turned to look at the two people who did not move. Not yet. That sounds familiar. Yunwu and Shangguan look at each other, and cleverly choose to go out from the gap torn by Dragon Qingxie. There are only 2 steps, that is, the stream. Seeing that there was no one around, Yunwu just sat on the ground and molested, stabilizing the power of some chaotic elements in her body. Long Qingxie takes a serious look at Yunwu, and consciously goes to Yunwu to protect his dharma. His long and narrow eyes are shining with uncertain light, scanning around. These 2 people, poor really be to cut continuously of evil relationship. Xiao Mu, who was hiding in the dark, looked at the place for a while, then his body covered by his robe turned in a direction and went into the dark. A cup of tea time. Cloud Dance, open eyes, lips light pursed, eyes a trace of light across, the momentum of the body and a bit cold. Shangguan picked his eyebrows on one side, and his tone was slightly envious. Xiaowu, you really have a smooth road of cultivation. Yunwu stood up, smiling recklessly and dangerously, but I have many people who haven't cut me one by one, and God will help me. Long Qingxie smiles, grabs Yunwu's hand, puts it on his lips and kisses it, saying, "How can I help you?" Cloud Dance smiles but does not speak. Two people nearby exude one kind of extremely tacit understanding feeling. When the two stood together, the dangerous atmosphere that they collided with did not even make Shengguan feel that way when he was angry with his father. Knowing that a few people are friends, but still cannot help but chill from the heart. But Shengguan's face was a little dark, and he could not help retreating 2 steps, hiding his heart. Then he laughed at himself in his heart, but he became more and more timid, more and more. "Anyway, why are you here?" Cloud Dance thinks of the doubt in oneself heart, pick eyebrow to ask away. Dragon Qing evil extremely natural will Cloud cape even, voice low and ambiguous. Naturally, I have a way. What's more, I can't just watch my wife being arrested. So, I'll improve my strength and come here. I just don't know why I'm here. Maybe I'm as smart as you say. After that, the cool dragon chuckles in a low voice. The cloud dances to smell speech, in the eyes flash to wipe helplessly, but the corner of the mouth is dyed some smile. "Wait, really?" "Of course. But what if I find out you're lying?" The cloud dances to pick eyebrows to all glance at the dragon to pour evil. Long Qingxie grinned. This time, he didn't rush to answer, but pondered for a while before he spoke in a low voice. "I can't hide anything from you, but I just found out about it." "What's the matter?" "It's said that I'm the young leader of the evil family. I'm being pursued by the people of the 5-Star Club. You know, I don't like being chased. So I'll come up and see what the 5-Star Club is." The dragon's heresy is easy. Cloud Dance turns one's eyes. "I still really think you are specially come to save me, originally is just along the way." After a pause, Yunwu seemed to think of something, and suddenly slightly raised his mouth and said, "Well, even if I'm here, I won't go to you. This time, I'll make a big fuss and give those old people a memory. What do you think?" Long Qing evil spirit hook lips, willing to extreme, just in this way, can't avoid a few days of time. Cloud Dance picks eyebrow, didn't hear the ambiguous meaning in the Long Qing evil words, "Ask away, but you still have other affairs?" With a smile, Long Qingxie puts Cloud Dance into his arms and slightly clings to his body. His warm breath hits Cloud Dance's sensitive earlobe with charming charm. His low voice rings out, dangerous and haunting. "You're my bride. It's a long night. What do you say you should do?" Yunwu was absent-minded for a moment, and finally combined those words in his mind. After hearing the hint, he felt hot on his face. He pushed the dragon away and spat angrily, "You dirty apprentice." Long Qingxie was amused by Yunwu's reaction, and his smile became more and more unrestrained. "You are my bride, my woman. What shame do you do? They're not married yet." However, Yunwu didn't dare to say it. He was afraid that this man would really play a hooligan. So Yunwu choked on this. He can only glare at Long Qingxie and turn around to look at him no longer. On one side, all the officials listened to the whispered words clearly, looked at them and shook their heads. "It's really in broad daylight. Ah, I can't stand you. Let's go." "I can't stay with people like you, of course." Shengguan is only joking. He just wants to leave. However, as soon as he stepped out with his left foot, he was suddenly attacked by a cold light behind him, and a small hole was made in the ground. Cloud Dance eyes a cold, immediately toward the direction to see. I saw a few figures, looking down at them. And the clothes on the sign, very clear to tell a few people, this is the 5-star meeting. Tut, you are very lucky. The first man, with a trace of discontent on his face, still had a little dark light in his hand. It was obvious that the attack was directed at Shengguan. When the line of sight was against Yunwu and Long Qingxie, it was on Yunwu at last, and the smile on his face was more unrestrained. "Who should I be?" "It's you, so I won't look for it again." It seems that I recognized Yunwoo. I should say that. Cloud Dance sneers, the hand a dark light around. When the black fog dispersed, a big knife mark appears in the hand. The whole body is black, but it exudes a faint and frightening blood. Look at what I'm wearing, but I'm from the 5-Star Club. I just saw what it was, but I sent it to my door. At the same time, he turned his eyes and looked at Yunwoo. He asked with a smile, would you like to watch? Cloud Dance curled his mouth, put down the knife in his hand slightly, and answered casually, it's better to look at it than not to do it yourself. It's clear that they don't pay attention to dozens of them. The leader's face suddenly turned black, and he glared at the 3 people who didn't care much, as if they were squeezing out words from their teeth, and said, today, I'll let you know what regret is. Chief, it said that the Cloud Dance is not easy to provoke. Moreover, it seems that the man is still the deputy head of Wansho Gate. Before he finished his words, he was punched in the face by the leader. After an exclamation, he fell down from the tree and covered his nose. If you don't have the guts, don't come. Get out. Today, I'm going to show you how I clean up these 3 pieces of trash. The person who has been beaten opens his mouth and swallows what he wants to say. He can only pray in his heart that he can be let go once. The leader is a new branch commander. Normally speaking, most of the people who can get to this position don't know how much life and death, and they will never be so reckless. But who can make someone else's father powerful? Naturally, promotion is faster than eating. It is only because of this speed that many people at the rudder are dissatisfied with him. This time, he also wants to take advantage of the opportunity to get rid of the Cloud Dance, which is regarded as a hidden danger by Samsung. Thinking about the way he was sought after by tens of thousands of people and appreciated by his father, his smile became more and more confident, while the people behind him were hesitant. Naturally, they are not afraid of death, but this Cloud Dance is they can't risk their lives for a result, but obviously their leader doesn't think so. All for me. Those who dare to retreat. The man suddenly took a look at the subordinate who had just been attacked by him. With a cold smile, a dark light flashed in his hand. The next second, he directly pierced the man's eyebrows. It's death. The subordinate didn't expect to die. Before the fight started, he died in his own hands. Moreover, he was still in the hands of such a bully. Really not reconciled. And a few people behind the leader see this, eye-ground undercurrent flickers, but finally also did not say anything. I see my subordinates are finally obedient. The man just smile, turn head to look at below, is still a face leisurely Cloud Dance 3 people, in the eye a trace of evil. Today is the day of your death. Help me get promoted. A dark light split, 3 separate, the original place where the station appeared a big pit. At the same time, the people of the 5-Star Society who were hiding around also rushed out and besieged each other. But before he got close, he was forced to retreat one after another. The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to sneer slightly young, easily and freely brandish the big knife, all the way directly rushes in front of the leader, after bending over to flash that person's emotion is urgent to stab a sword, raises the foot to kick out, kicks that man to fly. But just when I was going to catch up and make up for it. A figure faster than her step, the leading man has to take off the force of the body to grasp, thrown to a tree. It's the dragon. Cloud Dance slightly dissatisfied, almost and Dragon Ching Evil stand in front of that person, staring at Dragon Ching Evil way, rob me to do what? You're all mine. How can I get one of them? Long Qingxia's smile remains unchanged. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow, also don't want to fight with Dragon Ching Evil what? Turn head to look at the man who is limp on the ground, the corner of the mouth cold a hook, can also want to promote. Men are directly silly, it seems how did not expect, originally thought to be able to win the situation, has become the present situation. Looking at the Cloud Dance, a kind of never-had suffocation feeling wrapped him, lips moved for a long time, but speechless, eyes full of fear. Slightly turn your eyes, the dozens of subordinates who rushed out before have fallen to the ground. Scarlet blood stained the land, and the flowing streams beside it. And the Shangguan was wielding his sword and stabbed the last man in the chest. All this happened in a short time. These two, what kind of monster is it? Looking at the man's frightened eyes, Yunwu shook his head and sighed. Hand a brush, hanging on the tree are that man, directly pulled off the ground, straight roll a circle, just stable. Cloud Dance came forward, squatted funny looking at the man's embarrassed face, smiling mouth. A fledgling smelly boy, don't learn from those old people. He wants to do something earth-shaking as soon as he comes out. In the end, it's not worth losing his life. After that, with a sigh, it seemed that he was really sorry for him. Looking at the cold smile on his face and the Cloud Dance on his face, the man on the ground felt like a mole ant who could be crushed to death at any time for the first time. But now, he can't even say a word for mercy. At this time, Yunwu suddenly gave a strange smile, took back the big knife, turned his hand, a dagger appeared in his hand, and attached himself to the front of the body. Boy, tell us, where is the branch rudder of the 5-star club? Cloud Dance approaches to go up, take in the hand all dagger clap that person's cheek, inquire away. The man lunged for a long time, just stiff swallow a mouthful of saliva, looking at the Cloud Dance of that eye bottom deep flash a touch of panic. If I tell you, will you let me go, well do you say it or not? The Cloud dances like a smile but not a smile, which makes people wonder what she thinks in her heart. And the man had no time to care, Cloud Dance in the end will really let him go, see a glimmer of life, eyes are bright, eager to say, after this stream, about 2 miles north, there is a cave, below the cave is our base. Long Qingxia thought about the place in his mind and nodded thoughtfully. No wonder he couldn't find it all the time. It turned out that it was so hidden, and the place was desolate and smoke-free, so he didn't look for it seriously. Thank you for the information. Cloud Dance satisfied smile, dagger in the hand hit a turn, seems to be ready to leave the appearance. The man breathed a sigh of relief, and the feeling of the rest of his life came to him. Father, I'm sorry. You certainly don't want your son to die in the hands of these two people. As long as you make a serious apology, you will. The idea in his mind was not over, and he suddenly felt a chill in his chest. The man suddenly glared, looked down at the bright dagger in front of his chest, looked up at the Cloud Dance, and his eyes were full of doubts and questions. You want to break your word? Sorry, I didn't promise to let you go. Yunwu continued to smile brilliantly, but without giving the man any chance to react, the dagger had penetrated into his heart. Finally, in the man's eyes, Yunwu pulls the dragon away. The man's eyes are full of discontent, but it's too late to do anything. His vision is gradually blurred. It seems that there is blood choking out, and his nose is burning hot. The last darkness. Cloud Dance, where are you going now? When Yunwu came, Shangguan was wiping his sword carefully. See two people come over, quietly toward just that man there turned one eye, see that is already a corpse of the man, in the eyes slightly a trace of irony. How about going to the 5-star club to loosen up? The Cloud dances to smile to sing, let a person can't see at all, she is just that leave a ground remnant corpse of person. If it's all this rubbish, what's the point of loosening your muscles? Shangguan shrugged his shoulders and closed the sword. Just now I heard that man's tone was so big that I really thought he was some powerful person. In the end, he didn't even have a stick of incense and died. He didn't even leave his name, which made him become an official for a long time. Just because this person is rubbish doesn't mean everyone else is. Long Qingxia chuckles. He has already investigated it, although it's just the skin and it's not clear. Can also guess, 5 stars will be able to exist and continue to grow, absolutely cannot be so simple on the surface. As for today's maybe, it's just a poor boy who doesn't know the heaven and earth. Besides, there are many people at the helm. Cloud Dance laughs to connect, and Long Qing evil look at each other, unspeakable tacit understanding. By these two people invisible only show love aroused a goosebumps, Shangguan rub arm, helpless way, then go, no fun, I can't whip the body. The three soon left and disappeared into the night. And the remains of a place, quiet. However, the strong bloody smell of this area soon attracted some fierce warcraft scattered on the mountain, roaring around and slowly approaching. Before long, it will be cleaned up by these natural scavengers. If it wasn't for the bloodstains on the ground, no one would have noticed what just happened here. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.